More like worst guy ever, am I right?
Oh god. I hear he has a very tiny penis.
Yeah.
It's pretty small.
Nice. I'm a big
Small Dick Nate, that's what they call him.
That is what we called him back in the day.
No one's called me that since elementary school. Hey everybody,
Oh,
it's me, BGE, and I am the proprietor of Best Guy Ever University, and we're here to study Advanced Kingdom Hearts Studies 102, Advanced Spectrographical Fuckery. Welcome all. Yes, it is great to be here with you after my tragic ousting from my former accommodations, my former employment, due to my hate speech, because I hate speech so much. Huh? See what I'm getting at? But I did get my severance pay, this one shiny coin. Pretty cool, huh? Moving on from that. All right, everybody.
Get on with it.
Let's get on with it, everybody. Here we go.
We're learning.
So here, this is Kingdom Hearts 102, where we talk about Advanced Kingdom Hearts stuff. And here's what we're going to be doing. We are starting after Kingdom Hearts 101, a lecture I did on this very channel several years ago. And now we're getting into the juicier stuff that has happened because many games have released since 2017, and we are going to talk about all of them and have a grand old time. So, this is, of course, an interactive class, as it always is with old BGE. So, to keep focus, to keep attention, every once in a while, you're going to hear a few key words, and we all need to burst into song to engage together, all right? And here it is.
What song?
Fucking knew it.
What song?
I don't
Hey,
consent to
no
this.
questions are tolerated this part of the lecture. We'll get to questions and comments momentarily. When I say, what is this? Okay, when I say, yep, okay, this is what I wrote. I guess I'll go with this. Hey, everybody, what do we say? What do we say? We say, when you walk away, you don't hear me say, please, oh baby, don't go. That's it. That's what we're gonna say. Don't worry, I'll prompt you, and you will love it. I guarantee. You will be having a grand time by the time we're complete here.
Loving it already.
There you go. All right, everybody. So we're ready to get started. Let's just pick up where the story left off last time. So when we last left our hero, Tetsuya Nomura, he had just completed Kingdom Hearts II, the final game in the Kingdom Hearts series. It was incredible. He wrapped up the story in a beautiful bow. All the characters had satisfying arc conclusions. Well, wait a minute. Never mind. He fucked it up. He kept going, and he ruined everything I loved after 2006 when that game came out. So that's not true, but this is no lie that it is all downhill after Kingdom Hearts 2. And I would know, I've played them all, I've experienced them all, and I'm here to break down the details for you beyond where we got with our last lecture, which was
Professor,
around...
I have a question. Why did you
yes.
keep playing games that were obviously shit?
That's a great question. No, that is a great question. It's a little thing called the... Munchausen by proxy? No, that's not it. What's the one where they've got you emotionally captive?
Stockholm Syndrome.
Stockholm Syndrome. That is the answer to that question. And it's a good one because once I got to about around here, okay, this is like the cutoff point of maybe it was okay. After that point, I was so deep in there, but every game was a punishment that I just had to know where it was going out of sheer morbid curiosity. So there you go. That's after this, crap. Some good stuff in here. Mostly crap. But the gameplay can be good at times. Although, you know, a lot of people out there, they enjoy consuming Kingdom Hearts ironically. They like to watch Nomura fuck it up, and they really enjoy seeing how retarded he can make his own story. I am not one of those people. I feel pain every time he ruins it a little bit more. But I'm frankly in the minority. I don't know why, but that seems to be the case. So I think that is like a major force of keeping the series going. I don't know why the people enjoy doing that, but they do. Right, so moving on. Let's, and I was going to say, there are birth by sleep apologists that lie and say that this game and the next one are good.
I fucking hate those guys.
They're wrong. I hate those guys. Not a fan.
We all know one.
Yeah, we all know one. And they're a disgrace to our people. So there you go. So instead of playing Birth by Sleep, just watch Star Wars one time. You'll have a better experience. There you go.
Which one?
The first three, you know, the good ones.
1, 2, and 3.
Sand. It gets everywhere. There you go. All right. That's what I meant by the first three. Those first three.
Nice.
The good ones.
The good one. Okay. So real quick, we're going to cover just the basics of the lore for those people who are on Remedial. You know, they weren't. They're not totally.
None of those people are present in the audience.
Did you raise your hand to make that comment? I don't think so. So maybe rethink it next time.
I'm sorry.
Before doing so. Okay, great.
Sorry, Senpai. Fucked up again.
That's sensei. All right. Thank you.
Is that a Japanese
Okay,
thing?
who
to
is
do?
Sora? Just tell me.
Right. Okay. Sora and okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cover this stuff we need to know because there is deep lore that was explained in the last lecture, but we're just gonna touch on it because it's very important. Because by the way, the general gist of this lecture is going to be everything up to the end of 101 was like preparing for Kingdom Hearts 3. After Kingdom Hearts 2, it was like 10 years where they were getting ready. Okay, whatever. It was 11 years actually. And there was like one more big release before Kingdom Hearts 3 finally came out. Well, 1 or 2, whatever. That has now happened. We had that prep finish, the game came out, and we are now past it. We're just going to cover what that was, talk about Kingdom Hearts 3, the big coom, the big release. There he is right there, and where we're going in the future, right? So that's what we're getting into. But again, to touch on the important lore elements that are a key factor in there. So first of all, for the really basic people who forget, what is Kingdom Hearts about? What's like the lore? What's going on there? What is Kingdom Hearts? Let's touch on that briefly. So the heart is like the unique concept that the genius Nomura himself came up with. What is a heart? Kind of poorly defined. It's similar to a soul, but it is a collection of like memories, and it's your like connections to other people. But also you have a soul, which is confirmed to exist. You have both a heart and a soul.
Thank God.
Yep, you can exist without either. I mean, you die and you get all fucked up if you cut one out of somebody or that you try to live without it. Doesn't matter. The heart is like this. It like connects to other people, and it is a source of power. Sora uses it for various purposes. So okay, it does exist. It does things. And if you rip one out of somebody, it can turn into a Heartless. A Heartless is like a corrupted dark heart. That's what it is. It comes from people. Although Heartless also do occur naturally out of just like the darkness of the universe. They just kind of come into being, and people fight them. So there's hearts. Souls, mind and body, it exists. Little is said about it, but it does exist, and sometimes it does stuff. Like in Kingdom Hearts 2, where you fight somebody called Lingering Will, who is the soul or mind or lingering will. He's called Lingering Will. The lingering hatred of this guy, Terra, who got possessed by another guy and got all fucked up. It's a whole big thing, and his will lived on in a suit of armor. Don't worry about it. It's watch 101 for more about that. And you also have a physical body that is separate from your soul and your heart. You got a body, and altogether these things equal life. You don't even have to be a fully sentient being. For example, a world has a heart. Every world in Kingdom Hearts has a heart because they're like alive or something. And you know, in Kingdom Hearts, you travel between worlds. Presumably life springs from the heart of that world in some way. I don't know. It's the lore of the game. Okay, so that's the basic there. Oh, and
I got a question with that.
What's up,
So
Scott?
you got light and darkness next to the heart.
Because every heart is comprised of both some light and some darkness, with a couple of exceptions. Again, we talked about this in 101, but briefly to recap. Like, for example, Sora is the main character. Is he all light because he's such a good boy? No, he has a little bit of darkness. Actually, in Kingdom Hearts 1, he turns into a Heartless. He turns into a shadow because he's got a little bit of darkness in him, and he gets a soul ripped out of his body, his heart, not his soul, two very different things, and it turns into a Heartless. If he didn't have any darkness, it would not turn into a Heartless. Yes.
They ripped out his soul, and he became a heartless.
I misspoke. They ripped out his heart specifically.
Okay.
His soul was untouched. Yeah.
So the heartless have souls and bodies too.
The Heartless,
Just the
no.
Heartless.
Well, the Heartless is a physical manifestation of a dark, corrupted heart. So it is called a Heartless. It is, in fact, exclusively a heart.
Nice.
This
That
is
makes
confusing.
sense.
It makes sense. I'm glad we're all on the same page with that. Right. And again, the other lore, so a person is all these things together, as is like a world or anything else that's alive. Heartless are a corrupted dark heart, ripped from something basically. A nobody is a piece of lore from Kingdom Hearts 2, which is when you rip the heart out of somebody, the soul and body, or at least the body, they don't mention souls very much, but presumably it's in there too, they get changed into what's known as a Nobody, which is a different type of enemy. They're what you fight in Kingdom Hearts 2. They don't have hearts. There you go. And lastly is the Unversed. The Unversed are in Birth by Sleep, and they are there's one guy in all of existence who is a purely dark heart guy. He is Vanitas. In fact, let me write him in here. I forgot. He's one of the many Soras in the game. Get him in here.
Many Soras.
What does that mean to be a many Sora?
I'll tell you all about it. Okay, he's in there.
Everyone's a Sora.
Vanitas is in there too. He's connected to Sora's heart. He's literally a part of him. I can't get into the details of it. You got to watch Kingdom Hearts 101, and you should know this. Why are you in this advanced class if you don't even know who Vanitas is?
I didn't study.
That's
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Fair enough. Where's I going with that? Vanitas is a man made of pure darkness who is connected to Sora. He looks just like Sora, by the way, but whatever. That's for reasons I won't get into. Because he is the only man who is made of pure dark, he looks just like this, only darkness. Because he's the only man in the world who is pure darkness, he just has this one specific thing that these things called the Unversed just burst out of his body. They are darkness things. They're real similar to Heartless, but not. They're different. And that's all you need to know.
That's all we get.
Moving on. I think next thing, we got to talk about 7 and 13 real quick. This is core lore number stuff that is super relevant to the plot and the end goal of our main villain, Master Xehanort. The numbers 7 and 13 pop up all the time, and they usually relate to 7 things of light. You might remember in Kingdom Hearts 1, there were the 7 princesses of heart that have pure light hearts. And then there are 13 darknesses, which I don't think really featured much in Kingdom Hearts 1, but in Kingdom Hearts 2, there's Organization 13 Nobody guys. There's something called what I call the new organization that we will get to momentarily down here. It has another name, but we don't speak that name around here. They're used in a lot of places, but what you need to know for our purposes here is their relation to this right here, which I heard somebody was asking about before, this X-looking thing. That is not an X. That is the Greek letter chi, but we call it key, as in the Keyblade. Now, of course, Kingdom Hearts has Keyblades, but that's not what this is. It's the Keyblade. We say it long to distinguish it. It's just the tradition around here.
All right.
And what the Keyblade does is, say it with me, Keyblade. It's an extra. Come on, Keyblade. John?
I can't speak. That's against my religious beliefs.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, here we go. The Keyblade does what? It gives you instant access to Kingdom Hearts. That's the deal. What is Kingdom Hearts, you ask? Kingdom Hearts is the heart of all worlds. Remember how we said a world has a heart? Just they all have one collective heart. That is known as Kingdom Hearts. There's a lot of bullshitting in the series, a lot of hemming and hawing. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, it's the heart of all worlds. If you can get there and control it, you control everything. That's it. It is a simplified down. Kingdom Hearts is a story about a guy trying to take control of the universe and like reshape it and be the big man in charge.
So does
There you go.
Kingdom Hearts,
Yeah.
if that's the heart of all worlds, does that correspond to there's also a soul and body and life of all worlds?
One could infer so, but they've never been plot relevant. So I would assume like the physical matter of the worlds that we stand in, it exists, and the heart is like locked away deep in the realm of darkness. They go there at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, when they're all in the darkness land, they're like headed there. They're going to the heart of all worlds. Okay, so there you go. It was poorly defined, but we know what it is. And of course, there's the organization, or rather, the organization, Organization 13, and now the new Organization 13 are all organizations made by our villain, Master Xehanort. Where is he? He's a Xehanort. Boom. Everyone is Sora, and everyone else is Xehanort. And we'll get into that in a bit. Basically, they're just a group of 13 bad dudes who are helping Master Xehanort to take over the world. There you go. In Kingdom Hearts 2, they first show up, and they're made of Nobodies trying to get back hearts. Hard retcons abound throughout the entire series, and that was just totally changed later. They were actually puppets all along by Master Xehanort to attempt to make lore established later in Birth by Sleep. 13 Darkness Boys, and the point of that is, the way that you make a Keyblade is you have 13 Darkness Boys fight 7 Light Boys. If you just do that, because they're magical cosmic numbers, the Keyblade just appears. And that is the plot of Kingdom Hearts 3 that everything has been building to. That is why the bad guy, Master Xehanort, amassed 13 Darkness Bros that also were all him. They are all him. He split himself. He uses time travel, self-splitting, and various other darkness-infecting techniques to make all his boys into him. And you can tell because their eye colors change from whatever they were before to yellow. So that's how they've got Norded,
like
as
Voldemort.
they say. There you go. Okay, so I think we've laid out.
Somebody has
Did
the
you
same
raise your?
eye color.
I'm sorry. Did you want to raise your hand and ask the class something?
I just wanted to make a comment.
And what was that comment?
Nothing.
Okay.
Forget about it.
All right. I will.
Not worth.
This class sucks.
I'm having a grand time personally. Sounds like someone doesn't want to get their graduate degree.
Shit.
Paid way too much money to not get
My
it.
father won't respect me if I don't get it.
Okay, real quick. We've kind of touched on it already, but so as we
Drown
said,
in these student loans.
in Kingdom Hearts, all of them up to Dream Drop Distance, that's all the setup basically. We touched in 101 very briefly on Unchained Key or Kingdom Hearts Key. We'll get into that in a bit. That's where we're beginning the lecture here today with the new stuff. But in all of this, what you need to know, go watch 101 for the specific details of each of the games. But in effect, we set up what the villains are doing. The villain, Master Xehanort, is an old man. He's like time traveling. He's doing all kinds of stuff. He's splitting himself into different pieces. He's possessing different people to make 13 darknesses of himself that are working with him and helping him to fight 7 light boys. That is you and your friends. That's Sora, Riku, Kairi, not Goofy and Donald. They have to be Keyblade wielders. Oh, I forgot. They have to be Keyblade wielders. 7, that 20 Keyblade guys have to clash. It makes the Keyblade.
So in order to
Yeah.
thwart Xehanort's plan, you should just not play.
We're going to get into that because, yes, that is exactly what you think would do. But in the events of Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora chooses to do otherwise for reasons I just can't fathom.
You are Sora, though, because everyone is Sora.
You are Sora. You are Sora. I mean, he's your player avatar, so you are definitely Sora. But so is Roxas, Kairi, Nomination, Ventus, Data, Sora, Vanitas, and many more, as we'll get into. And as we said, Xehanort, the villain, is Ansem, Xemnas, Terra, Riku, Xigbar, Terranort, Riku Replica, and the entirety of the new Organization XIII. By the way, I'll just give you my little spiel on them, which is so they're in the game. They're called the real Organization XIII. Okay, the Organization XIII was introduced in Kingdom Hearts 2, and there was Nobodies doing Nobody lore stuff. Okay, then fucking Nomura just retcons the whole purpose of the group, makes up all this bullshit lore that I cannot abide, and then has the fucking audacity to call this new group the real Organization XIII. I cannot handle it. Not happening. I will never speak those words in sincerity. They are the new Organization XIII. That's acceptable. That's acceptable. Okay, so now you know.
Thanks, Professor.
You're welcome, my friend. All right, so we're getting into now. We're finally getting into the new games for this lecture. Okay, here we go. So, at the end of last lecture, we talked about how a new game was about to come out, and that game was. Actually, the full name is Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. That is the name of the game.
Jesus.
Which is composed of 3 pieces.
Sounds like a Coheed album.
And so there's 3 pieces. It's a collection. One of them is just Dream Drop Distance, like ported for PS4 or something. And the other 2 are... there's one that's basically a demo for Kingdom Hearts 3, but as is Nomura's way, it contains vital plot lore, and it's super important, and you have to play it, or you just won't understand what's going on with other characters. Consult this for any questions about why anything is happening. What were they thinking? We don't know. We've been asking ourselves that question for 22 years. Or is it 21? Something like that. Anyway, So the first of the collection we're going to talk about is that game indeed, Kingdom Hearts 0.2, Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage. That is where our story re-begins here. So what is happening in that game is it is a demo for the new Unreal Engine version of Kingdom Hearts that they were making for Kingdom Hearts 3, where you play as Aqua, who is the girl from Birth by Sleep, the Keyblade Master, excuse me, who got trapped in the realm of darkness at the end of Birth by Sleep, saving her friends. Go watch 101 for all that stuff about her. And so basically, not much important stuff happens moment to moment. It's kind of just she explores the realm of darkness. She encounters Cinderella Castle, like worlds that have been consumed by darkness as the Heartless have spread, which is the events of Kingdom Hearts 1. They're there. She kind of explores it, and she's trying to survive. Her whole what's the mission survive is Aqua's thing. Because this happened, I believe, 10 years before the events of Kingdom Hearts 1. She's just trying to stay alive so she can be relevant to the plot again in Kingdom Hearts 3. So that's her mission.
She just wants to make it to the plot.
Indeed.
All that matters.
And conveniently, time slows down in the realm of darkness, so she doesn't have to update her model one bit. It's perfect. Although they did remake it for her.
Thank God it happened to work that way.
It's just the best that it worked that way. Although, well, I don't want to... Ventus, another person who is Sora, he was just, his heart was pulled out of his body at the end of Birth by Sleep. His body was sitting someplace. You'd think his body would age, but that also didn't. They add an explanation for why Aqua didn't age. There was none given as to why Ventus, unless your heart not being in your body just means you don't age. I don't know. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. Nomura's a hack. What were they thinking?
All right, so what happens in this game with Aqua? She's surviving. Why does anyone care about Aqua?
I'll tell you why. Okay, well, a lot of people care about her for her puffy vulva. She is widely known. It's just the truth. It's the truth. So
is that canonical?
That was not what I was
expecting.
It's clearly on screen. Yeah.
Why don't we have the puffy vulva?
We should have had the evidence on screen. I'll have to edit it in. Everyone can see for themselves.
Okay.
There's a great shot in Kingdom Hearts 3 where she's lying on a beach and it just pans directly over the mound. And it is notable. It's not me. Everyone in the world observed this together and said, that was a little on the nose, Nomura.
Okay, sure.
There it is.
So she's got
So
the
why
vulva
else?
going.
She's got a
what
vulva.
else is going on with her?
So in Birth by Sleep, there were a bunch of Keyblade guys. There's one other thing to clarify about why Kingdom Hearts 3 is the way it is. It's that after Kingdom Hearts 2, Nomura had this idea that okay, we're gonna make all these characters and get them all fucked. We're gonna ruin their lives in the plot so that Sora can fix them all in Kingdom Hearts 3. That is what you do in Kingdom Hearts 3. So Aqua is one of the many people fucked up narratively so Sora could save her later. So in her case, she's trapped in the realm of darkness, trying to survive, and so that Sora can save her in Kingdom Hearts 3. But you're asking what happens in Kingdom Hearts 0.2, Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage.
Sure. Yeah, what's the big ending?
The big ending is this. It's that nothing happens. You just run around and survive until. There's a lot of seething and coping of Aqua trying to survive in the realm of darkness until. Here's the big lore dump at the end. It's that Aqua is wonderfully inserted into moments during the final battle of Kingdom Hearts 1, making her retroactively really important to the narrative that we'd already wrapped up 15 years ago. So wow, she's so directly related to helping, remember at the end when Riku and the king are in the realm of darkness at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1.
I think about it frequently, yeah.
Yeah, me too. Turns out Aqua was there all along defeating a way bigger darkness guy that was right over there so that our characters, it's great, right?
That does make me like her a lot.
Same here. Such agency she has. But there's another great piece, there's another vital piece of lore. See, what you might notice, you fellow experts out there, is that there's always been this big contradiction in the lore, which is that Mickey Mouse wears a shirt in Kingdom Hearts. Yes, I know. Drink it in. Through all his appearances after Kingdom Hearts 1, he is wearing a shirt and shoes and pants, right? However, luckily, Kingdom Hearts 0.2, Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage, notice that Mickey's first appearance in Kingdom Hearts 1, he clearly is not wearing a shirt. What's that about? Now, I shit you not. there is a moment in the narrative where the Darkness Beasts blast Mickey during this battle, thus destroying his shirt and making him now shirtless, because Nomura felt it was extremely important to clarify why Mickey did not have a shirt on in the scene he shows up in Kingdom Hearts 1.
I mean, it just sounds like they put a lot of thought into this story and
I agree.
wrapped up all the loose ends.
Unfortunately, there's a tragic problem here, which is that Mickey's shoes do not match the model of the shoes that if you just look close, he has straps on the top of his shoes. So for all this attempt to fix the narrative, he still fucked it up and did not, to me, the shoes were the question I've been wondering about all along. Forget the shirt for a minute. What about the straps on his shoes? I'll just never get an answer, I guess.
They'll wrap it up in a later game.
I hope in a future game clarifies why the shoes look different between maybe a multi-dimensional parallel worlds kind of thing going on.
Maybe they need 3 more games to explain that.
I think so.
Kingdom Hearts Birth by Shoes. We'll get
This is the kind of lore Nomura chooses to spend his time clarifying. We
what
still
keeps him up
don't
at
really
night.
get what Kingdom Hearts is, but he must clarify the Mickey shoe lore. Okay, what were they thinking? Okay. Anyway, game ends. It's retarded. That's it. That's the end of the game. It ends with Aqua still trapped in the realm of darkness because she couldn't save herself because Sora needs to do that for her in Kingdom Hearts 3.
But we learned that she did important things, and one depended on her doing those things.
That's true. But again, just to clarify, the important thing that we learned she did, if it was never mentioned in this game, it almost would have been like it never happened. It had no impact on the plot whatsoever. Right. All right, I'm just clarifying for everybody, but okay.
obvious.
Indeed. Okay, so that's it. That game. It's a demo for Kingdom Hearts 3, basically, so you can get used to the controls before Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. Whatever, like 2 years after that. Now, more importantly, we have to talk. It's time to really crack open the lore textbook to look at a little game called Kingdom Hearts Key that was later re-released. It was a PC game, then it became a mobile game called Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. This is a mobile game that I played for many years that was running leading up to the release of Kingdom Hearts 3. And it is vitally important to the lore, more so than any of these fucking bullshit games. It's all about the mobile game now. It is, not only, now that we're done with Kingdom Hearts 3, it's all mobile game lore from here on out, as far as we can tell. And we will get into the deal with it, okay? So, in 101, we just mentioned very briefly what Unchained Key was about. But just to reiterate, there is a town in antiquity. You remember how Kyrie's grandmother in Kingdom Hearts 1 told a story about, in the distant past, some children had like light in them, and then the world was consumed by darkness, and their souls like saved the world. That's kind of what we see in the game. We see the actual events there, but it's also the Keyblade War that was hyped up in Kingdom Hearts 2. And I'm not going to get too much into all the details of that, but that's basically what you need to know. You play as one of the many Keyblade wielders in a place called Daybreak Town, and you fight darkness that's trying to encroach on your little village, and collect Lux, which is just like little light chunks to push back the darkness from swallowing the land. And there is something going on where all the Keyblade wielders are divided into 5 units called unions, and each one is run by a guy called a foreteller. And there are 5 of them. They're named like Latin for like fox and bear, whatever. They're animal themed guys, and they all have something very important. They have something called the Book of Prophecy. Each of them has this, and the book has information about the future. That's why they're called foretellers. And the book says the world will end very soon, and there's a traitor amongst them, and everyone's gonna die. So watch out for that. Rich.
The world or like the universe?
The universe. Yes, the universe, like all worlds.
Okay.
Because yes, a world is just one of the many so it's kind of a multiverse in Kingdom Hearts. But yeah, there you go.
It's my understanding that like towns are just like a world. Like it's just like
They
a
can
town
be.
that's a world. Okay. So it's not just
Again,
the town. It's
a
like
little
everything.
unclear. Like for example, Mulan. In the Mulan world, is there the rest of the planet in the Mulan world in Kingdom Hearts 2? Presumably, but we never see it. Is the Pirates of the Caribbean world and the Mulan one, are they in the same world or are they separate? They appear to be separate, but I just don't know. We just don't know. We also learn in Unchained Key about a guy called the Master of Masters. He is the guy who made the Book of Prophecy that was given to the Foretellers. So he's the one who knows everything, and he's a big sketchy guy. And so one moment. So the 5 unions, they know of this prophecy of the end of the world, and there is a secret group among them called the Dandelions that is trying to survive the apocalypse. It's going to happen. As far as they know, they can't stop it. But the Dandelions are like a little subgroup of people from all the different unions that are trying to survive, and you, in the events of Unchained Key, get like involved and you become one in the hopes that you will live, and maybe some other people will survive too, and you can rebuild the universe and civilization. So it's at this point that we can now mention the other piece of the Kingdom Hearts 2.8 collection that did 3 things, because there was a third thing there. There was Dream Drop Distance, there was the Fragmentary Passage thing with Aqua, and then there was something called Kingdom Hearts Key Back Cover. Back Cover is a movie that released with that package that has more lore about Unchained Key. So we're really getting into we were just setting up for Kingdom Hearts 3. Now you have to play the mobile game, which, by the way, at the time, it was only partially translated, and there was much more Japanese out there than the English, so you were really hamstrung on what you could find out. And then Back Cover came out. Back Cover came out. It was dubbed in English, but it had not covered all the lore, or rather, for Japanese audiences, it was up to date with the lore. For the English audiences, such as myself, the game just simply hadn't gotten that far and was full of things that didn't make any sense because of that. Anyway, time has passed and it's better now. So Back Cover is a movie that just focuses on those 5 foreteller guys, the animal people. There's a bear and a leopard and a snake and a unicorn and a fox. Yeah, that's them. And basically how because they have a book of prophecy that says the world's going to end, there is a traitor in their midst, and that's very concerning for them, how relationships break down between them and they all start to fight each other and kill each other. And that's basically what you see in the movie. There's a couple of decent fight scenes, sort of, not good. Do not watch this film. That pretty much sums it up right there. And it's in that movie, I believe, where we first actually meet the Master of Masters for the first time, and he reveals the lore of how he could do what he does. So his Keyblade is called the Gazing Eye, and it is the same Keyblade that Master Xehanort in Modernity uses. What's that about? And it's got a big blue eye that I should have drawn on here, but there's a big blue eye on it, and the Master of Masters says, "That's my eye. I pulled it out of my head and put it on this Keyblade. And what I do with this is I send the Keyblade with one of my apprentices, this guy named Luciu, into the future." He's just like, "Hey, you're going to be my apprentice. I'm telling you, be careful with this Keyblade. Go to the future and protect it and stay alive. And whatever the eye, the gazing eye sees, he can see now in the present." So he's getting some future sight shit going on through this specific Keyblade. It's just a power he has for some reason.
I got a question.
What's up, Scotty?
Is this a Keyblade or a Keyblade that we're talking about?
This is a Keyblade. It is not a Keyblade.
It's a Keyblade.
You'll know when we're talking about the Keyblade.
There's only one, the Keyblade.
Well, it can be, no, there technically is only one. It can be created, so it was created in like at least 2 different circumstances, but it was like the same one. It's like the key to Kingdom Hearts. It is how you access Kingdom Hearts, and that was done like twice in the series through that method. So there you go. But like there is just one, yeah. So again, in the events of Back Cover, the Master of Masters is there. He gave the Book of Prophecy to everybody. Relationships have broken down between the unions. Remember, they're trying to fight to collect light to keep their world from being annihilated. And this Book of Prophecy, knowing there's like a traitor in their midst or something, whatever that means, maybe somebody working for darkness or something, it just caused that all to get fucked up. And they all hate each other now, and it all goes to shit. The Master vanishes, who was like their teacher. He gave them all Keyblades. He seems to be the main man behind he is the final point of lore as far as we can tell, going back as far and with the most knowledge and power over everything. So he seems like a very important guy. And that dandelion shit about making a little subgroup to survive the end of the world is still happening. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so that was Back Cover. So going back to the game proper, because, you know, that's pretty much all the lore in the movie. Continuing the lore of the mobile game. So the Keyblade War just happens. You're involved, and, you know, all this fighting that everybody was having, everyone fights each other, everyone kills each other. as far as I can tell, you're all children. So it's one of probably the biggest mass children genocides of all time. But they're all doing it to each other willingly, and they love it. So, that's too bad. You are involved as an outsider a little bit. You're a Dandelion member now. You've been recruited to this like little subgroup. Guys they're trying to not get involved in these like petty squabbles or whatever. And you survive miraculously. So the world does end, but there's just a new world, and it happens to be very similar to the last world. So that's pretty convenient for everybody.
This is like my D&D character.
So the world did end.
Yes.
But it was cool.
Maybe it only ended a little bit because the Keyblade War was like a bunch of Keyblade guys who are very powerful, just kind of scorching earth and fighting each other all over the place. But this is the event. This is the Keyblade War that torches reality, at least to a large degree. Or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's the mobile game lore.
Thanks, Professor.
You're welcome.
I feel like we're getting all the knowledge here.
That's what
Of the I don't know, I don't care.
That's the best guy ever university standard of quality right there. All right. My next note here is who cares? It's all terrible and boring, and these games are terrible. Specifically the mobile games. Others are a little bit better. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So Unchained Key it kind of evolves as time goes on. Oh yeah, and this is where after the Keyblade War, this game actually becomes a new game, or at least it gets a new title. So like your app would have been updated to no longer be called Unchained Key. It would now be called Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. So that is that's the era we're now in. That's the epoch. We are in the Union Cross era. Rich.
That's the same key.
It sure is. But they treat it like kanji, right? As in, this is a symbol that can be pronounced however they want to. Now, the key just means cross. It's the same thing.
Okay.
I think to Japanese people, that makes some sense. Now, it's a Greek character, and for us English speaker, it makes no sense. But cultural differences, I guess. So you're just in a new world, coincidentally doing very similar to things to what you did in the old world before the apocalypse. So that works out pretty well. But there's lore. Lots and lots and lots of lore that I don't care about. But what you need to know is just this. So we're back to 13 and 7 here. 13 manifestations of darkness just pop up and appear at this point. So apparently there's some lore about how the world just generated darkness on its own, and at some point they consolidated into 13 darkness entities. And in all the other places in the world, this is why that there are, it's a coincidence. It's just how like the universe is structured, the mind of Nomura at work being projected into Kingdom Hearts. 13 is just the darkness number. That's all there is to it. There's like some quote about how 7 is handy and 13 is not dandy, but I'll be friends anyway. There's some quote about that in the series.
That sounds like a localization
Makes a lot of
error.
sense to me.
I don't know.
These are just the numbers that they liked, so fair enough. Right, so darkness has a physical embodiment and is like a character now and is like talking to the Master of Masters and other characters actively and has a will and is trying to fuck with these people and kill them. I don't know why, and no one knows or cares why. But that's just it. And then the end of the world happens again. For the second time, the world just ends, and I can't explain why. Because darkness started doing stuff? That's all we know. There you go. And, okay, we're going to end it right there with the world ending for the second time. We will come back to this lore a little bit later. We got to take a detour. But before we take that detour, what do we say, everybody? When you walk away, you don't hear me say, please, oh baby, don't go. All right. No, that was last time. We're past that now.
We're no longer simple.
We're no longer simple. We are not simple and clean. Haha, that joke's never been made before. Here we go. All right, it's
So glad I'm
happening.
here.
I'm sorry, I was mocking myself, not you. Forgive me.
You
No,
got
fuck
me.
you. I take it
There
back.
it is.
Yeah, all right.
I
All
feel
right. So, okay, we're taking a little break from the mobile game lore right now, and we're jumping over to Kingdom Hearts 3 at last. So all this setup bullshit that we've been talking about, it all happened. That's all fine. Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. We're set up to save. The quote is to like save from hurt. There is hurt that needs to be saved. That phrase is used. That word, like Aqua, Ventus, Terra, who has been possessed by Master Xehanort. That's the whole thing. Lingering will guy. All right, we're getting into that. So, The events of this game are bananas. But here they go. They go off the chain almost immediately. So I'd like to point out for a moment how much of a genius I am, because in Kingdom Hearts 101, I made a prediction that the game would be out in 2 years. The game came out in 2 years, exactly, minus 7 days. Numbers, am I right? Okay.
That can't be a coincidence.
It cannot be a coincidence. Nomura knew that I'm an agent of light, and it had to be recognized. Appreciate that, big dog. All right, so it's a real game. I don't know about you guys, but I'd been wondering, can they even make like a real Kingdom Hearts anymore? It's been like, oh, by the way, it had been 13 years since Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. I wouldn't put it past the man to have done it on purpose. So it's a real Kingdom Hearts game. It's got a song by like Utada Hikaru, who did, When You Walk Away, all that stuff, and did Sanctuary in Kingdom Hearts 2. There's a new one called Don't Think Twice, which is kind of okay. And that has Skrillex working with her. So that's right. Call 911 now! That's in the game. It's pretty good. Sorry, that song's actually Face My Fears, is the Skrillex one. Don't Think Twice is the main, the one that's just her. Okay, there you go. Anyway, so,
Can't wait to play this game.
I know, very exciting stuff. So, lore, here we go. Rich, yes.
Is that the drop in Dream Drop Distance?
I hope so. I don't want to think about Dream Drop Distance. That's where it 100% was completely irredeemable. Birth by Sleep apologists, I at least get, but 3D is where time travel became a thing and actively ruined the lore of many of the old games. There's a great conversation where Xemnas, the leader in Kingdom Hearts 2, the main guy whose whole thing was, I want a heart. I'm so sad somehow. I feel empty because I don't have a heart. And then in Dream Drop Distance, he's like, I was fucking lying the whole time. I don't care. Also, you just regrow a heart if you don't have one. It just happens automatically. That is the new lore for what happens to Nobodies. So,
does it happen to Heartless? No, Heartless are Hearts.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, they're still all fucked up and corrupted. It's a Nobody specific thing. But I choose to pretend everything past this line is not canon, and I don't care about any of it. Incidentally, as you can see, we've got our labels. As of last time, when we got to Dream Drop Distance in 101, we were in the danger zone deeply. Now we are deep into It's Over, or even you could call it The Fun Is Over. That's also an acceptable title. And now we're in Kingdom Hearts 3 in the It's Happening area. So it is happening, and things look up a little bit in some ways. I'll just say this: the gameplay gets pretty good, and then the DLC comes out, and there's like a free patch that comes out with it, and the gameplay gets great. It's not like exactly like Kingdom Hearts 2, but at the end we'll talk about game recommendations. We'll get to that. So so we got Skrillex, we got Utada Hikaru. We're banging on all cylinders here. The main plot that what we're trying to do, as we talked about, Master Xehanort is looking to get 13 Darkness Boys to fight 7 Light Boys. That is what is happening. And Sora, at the same time, is trying to save from harm or whatever all the people that in this neck of the woods were set up as like sad boys, hurt boys, so that Sora could all rescue them in Kingdom Hearts 3. That's the events of the story. And coincidentally, as John said before, rescuing those people hurt will enable the very thing, the end of the world, the access to the Keyblade that Master Xehanort is trying to do. You would think you would maybe consider not doing that. No time for that. Let's go, boys. 7 hearts of light.
But he's a light boy.
Yeah.
So he has to rescue the other light boy. Like, if you're a light boy,
they kind of put him in a no-win scenario. What's he going to do? Let his friends just suffer in the realm of darkness forever? He's got to save them. However, you don't have to rush to the final battle to actively fight him. You could, I don't know, fight him with people that aren't Keyblade users. That's a viable option. Or something like that. It could have been avoided, but none of us really want it to be avoided. We want to fight the battle, so that's what we get. Now, okay, so one of the things that's happening in Kingdom Hearts 3 that you're actually trying to do in Dream Drop Distance is awaken this power that's been mentioned since 3D called the power of waking. Now, Sora does not obtain this power in Dream Drop Distance. He fails. As he fails his Keyblade Mastery test. However, in Kingdom Hearts 3, he's back on that Sigma grind, trying to get his power of waking to wake. So he's kind of doing that while looking for his friends, and that is what you're doing as you go through the Disney worlds doing stuff. Now, the actual events of the game, I've talked about this many times in my other videos about Kingdom Hearts 3. They're nightmarishly terrible in that they have absolutely no connection to the story. Even in Kingdom Hearts 1, it made sense. You're exploring the worlds, you're trying to find your friends and get back home. Got it. In Kingdom Hearts 2, you're looking for Riku. It's a little bullshit because you're just looking over the same worlds a couple of times. It kind of sucks, but the main Nobody stuff was good. In Kingdom Hearts 3, you're just like, I guess I'll just travel through Disney worlds. There is literally nothing to be done traveling between these worlds other than this generic quest to awaken the power of waking. I don't know. I guess for some people that's justification, but compared to the other games, it's bullshit. However, I will say there are two good Disney worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3, which are Toy Box, which is the Toy Story one, and Monsters, Inc. And in both of those worlds, the Disney characters really dab on the Xehanorts of their world, and it's very entertaining, so whatever, there you go. It's not all bad, 100%. Anyway, and there's here's the great piece of lore that justifies why you're exploring the worlds. It's that just in case you and all your friends die on this quest, you're looking for 7 backup Hearts of Light to work as the 7 heart guys to fight the bad guys, which are, like, that's the justification why you meet a bunch of new Disney princesses, like Rapunzel from Disney's Tangled. And there are people kind of creeping on them to maybe, maybe we could use them to make the Keyblade assemble. None of that happens. It's totally pointless to the narrative, but
so does Sora want the Keyblade to assemble? He wants to get these 7 people?
No. But he wants to make sure that, like, the organization doesn't, like, kidnap them and then, like, force them to help them by being the 7 light guys. I mean, that's pretty much the extent of it. Is that clear? Does that make sense?
I'm a little confused. I mean, what is his motivation for assembling these people? And like, they think they can just win the fight and then take the Keyblade and, like, make everything good? Is that, like,
I think Sora is a little resigned to saying, like, exactly what Scotty said before. I can't just let these people I know that I could help, like, stay in the realm of darkness or be all, like, have their heart broken. If I can help them, which is what he does in Kingdom Hearts 3. And it is sort of a coincidence that at the same time the enemy, actually the entire game, your enemy is just waiting for you to do that so that all your friends are awake and they can show up and then fight you. That is what the enemy is doing the whole game. However, at the same time, they're like, if Sora were to die on this quest against some random heartless mob or whatever, or fighting Gaston from Beauty and the Beast or some shit like that, that's why they were scoping out those backup princesses just in case they needed more Hearts of Light.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's all there is to it. Yes?
Doesn't that mean there's more than 7?
It sure does. It sure does. Look, I can't pretend I understand. He's looking for some justification for you to explore the Disney worlds. That's the best he got. And
he just likes marketing.
I guess so. It's not like the original 7 Princesses of Light aren't still around. They are around. But that wouldn't work to explore new Disney worlds. So, you do what you can do. Okay, so cutting to the chase here. The great news is we can skip the events of the entire game up to the end because none of it matters at all. And where you have done this. There's the end game blitz is this. I shit you not, unironically, when you have completed the last Disney world, your Keyblade simply activates and opens a portal to the plot progression area. You didn't do anything. It could have happened at any time beforehand, but it's happening now. So that's what happens.
Great.
Yes, there you go. There's a phrase they say, it's a terrible phrase. I hate it so deeply, but it's, may your heart be your guiding key. That phrase is said anytime something like authorial intent needs to happen, and they're like, the Keyblade willed it. It just needed to happen now. Yep. And just on one of my little picadillos, it feels like, remember, Sora used to be the only Keyblade wielder in the universe. In Kingdom Hearts 1, he was the chosen one of the Keyblade. It was actually Riku. It doesn't matter. One of them was the chosen one of the Keyblade. I know, it immediately gets off the rails. And yes, Riku makes an artificial Keyblade out of some super special hearts, the 7 pure Hearts of Light in Kingdom Hearts 1. And yes, at the end, Mickey shows up with a 3rd Keyblade, even in Kingdom Hearts 1. But that is the Keyblade of the Realm of Darkness. This was clear from day one. There's one in the Realm of Light and one in the Realm of Darkness. This is basic stuff, people. You should be keeping up with this. Okay, but all this like may your heart be your guiding key stuff. It's like the Keyblade is like a cosmic power. It has a will. It chose you. It's an important thing. But then as of Unchained Key, the Master of Masters can just make Keyblades. And now like this other process where he can like reach into your heart and make a Keyblade of your heart. That actually we kind of saw for the first time in Kingdom Hearts 2 when Riku just had a Keyblade now for no reason. Clearly that process was happening too. Is there any difference between these types of Keyblades? We have absolutely no idea. I don't know. It's never been clarified. This is not a well-written story. All right, there you go. At least on the big lore. No, it's not a well-written story. But this game right here, that's my shit. Kingdom Hearts 2. All right, yeah. Hi. All right. There you go. Go to the bathroom. Let's take a...
I'm going after you too. Oh, I guess I'll go down here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you want to, feel free to go. We'll pause. Take a moment.
I feel like we haven't talked about darkness and light enough. I feel like that's like half the dialogue in Kingdom Hearts that I've ever heard.
Yeah, I mean, I was just playing the game and, thinking that they were using the words with their English meanings. And then this whole time they had lore meanings.
They had context.
Yeah, they were going for some crazy shit. That's where they lost me.
Well, that's the problem. You didn't play all these 20 other games.
I know. I only played the first one.
Like a fool.
I have missed out on so much.
I really like the idea, too, that to play Kingdom Hearts 3... you have to get the lore from these other games and a random
simply
movie.
Won't make sense. You're not going to get what's going on in, like, Rapunzel's Tower if you don't know about...
Of course not.
The Master of Masters.
We're back, people, and what do we say? When you walk away, you don't hear me say, please, oh, baby, don't go. All right, Scotty, did you have a comment you were going to make?
Yeah, I was trying to learn up on the lore for Keyblades.
Mm-hmm. That's why we're here.
And then my phone broke. But how can a man use 2 Keyblades?
Great question. All right, so in Kingdom Hearts 2, this is a funny one. That is a multifaceted question.
I regret this instantly.
It's that, okay, to break it down, Roxas is Sora's nobody. He's the best character. Oh, can I, hang on. I got a shout out to my boy. I'm repping his chain right here. Roxas is the best character in Kingdom Hearts, and I love him dearly. Right, he uses 2 Keyblades. What's the deal with that? Okay, now, we go through several layers of retconning, and you can choose whichever answer you want for why you can use 2 Keyblades. The first one is this. It's that as Sora's nobody, and I do believe this was basically implied in the original Kingdom Hearts 2, that Sora all along had an extra heart living within him because, and we found it in Birth by Sleep, when he was born, he formed an attachment with a character named Ventus. And when something bad happened to Ventus at the beginning of Birth by Sleep, it like shattered Ventus's heart. And Ventus, who is a Keyblade wielder, it retreated through time and space to rest inside Sora's body. And so Sora all along had 2 hearts within him, by the way. And so when Sora got split and became a nobody and a Heartless, and that he later reformed from a Heartless and became a person again, the nobody looks exactly like Ventus because he like shares a heart with him, sort of. And so when Roxas used 2 Keyblades, he has 2 hearts in him. He's like Sora's nobody, so we can use Sora's Keyblade. And he had Ventus's heart in him. So he could use Ventus's Keyblade, hence dual wielding. 2. Yes, so that's your answer. But then, okay, retcon number 1 to that was that in the events of Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days for the Nintendo DS, which came out, a bit after Kingdom Hearts 2.
What are these names?
Well, I could explain the name of the title.
That's not.
Okay, you're right. That's in part 1. We can talk about it. You'll see it there. So a character named Xion was introduced in that game, she was the 14th member of Organization XIII, thus being my favorite character of all time. And so she was another Keyblade wielder, and everyone's like, whoa, what's up with that? Why can she use the Keyblade when only Roxas or Sora should be able to use the Keyblade because they're like the chosen one? So it turns out what she is a memory golem, you could call it, or a memory construct. We have to go back one step further. In Chain of Memories, there was something invented called a replica. A replica is like an empty shell of a human being, and then you copy a person's like heart. It's not, science is done, and you like make a digital copy of them. Digital, whatever, I don't know. Maybe it's analog. What the fuck do I know? And you insert it into a replica. They don't go into it in detail. And basically, you just make a copy of that person. Now, would it be fair to say that this entire idea existed to just enable mirror matches in Chain of Memories, a Game Boy Advance game? Yes, it would, and that's probably true. However, this went on to be vital lore in many games, including Kingdom Hearts 3, and we will get back into why a little later. But the thing about Xion is, so she was a replica. Replicas introduced. 3FF8 later. They took some of Sora's memories, which Roxas had inside him, and shoved them into a replica, and that created a girl who looks like Kairi, actually, Sora's girlfriend, basically, but with black hair, because Sora's strongest memories are of Kairi, you see. So that's why Xion looks like Kairi. Right, and we're talking about the two Keyblade thing, right? It just escalates. I'm sorry. But when basically they have a fight, Xion begins to understand that she is like a piece of Sora in her existence and needs to be returned to him in order for Sora to. At this point, Sora is in a coma. He's unconscious and needs to be. His chain of memories was broken in this game, and it needs to be put back together to fix his heart, because a heart is like memories, basically. And so she's like, I'm a memory golem. Those memories need to be taken out of me. I need to die so Sora can come back to life, because he matters and I ain't shit. So she's, whatever, pretty self-sacrificial character. She's kind of cool, whatever. So in the end of the game, after she dies, she fights Roxas, who is her friend or whatever, and she dies in that battle. And when that happens, her memories get reabsorbed into Roxas. So Roxas is now like a bigger guy, because he's the nobody of Sora. He's more of a complete being. And at that point, he can then use two Keyblades. Now, I mean, and again, that might not contradict the whole Ventus thing before, about how Ventus was this extra heart that was also inside Sora, and so by proxy, what's-his-face can use it. Although, you know what, I'm sorry, I forgot the initial layer about why Sora might have been able to use two Keyblades, which is just that he had, like, Roxas in him, too. But Roxas used two Keyblades first, so the Ventus thing, I don't really know when these ideas were invented one after another, but yes, Rich?
I thought Roxas was Sora's, or
Nobody?
One of Sora's nobodies.
Yes, but just for fun, did you know that Roxas is also part Kairi? Wait, no, I'm sorry. That actually might not be true. It's that Naminé is Kairi's nobody, and she is part Sora and Kairi. Maybe there's a little of her in Roxas. Who knows? We'll never know. Oh, boy. What was the question? Something about two Keyblades?
Two Keyblades.
Two! Moving on. Dual wield. Okay. And the last thing about that is that no one should ever be able to use dual wielding ever again at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, because everyone's soul is returned to their body, and yet they still do. I have no explanation for this. It doesn't make any sense, but they just do. Maybe you can think, I've heard this explained this way. Nate, think about it like an achievement unlock. Once you've unlocked it, you don't lose it later. You just can keep using Keyblades. Because, by the way, like Roxas and Xion, for example, they both existed at the same time, and they both used a Keyblade. They used the same Keyblade. It exists in two places at the same time. It is the same Keyblade. What does that mean? I guess that's a question for the philosophers, but it is clarified to be the same Keyblade. Scotty.
I thought that's what we're here to learn.
Well, this is the lore one. We'll have to get into the philosophy. That's 103. When we get down into what it all means, what we can infer from it.
Thank God.
So stay tuned for that in 5 more years.
Is Sora like the chosen one because he had Ventus's heart in him? Is that like what?
No.
Like, why did that happen?
We know that that's definitely not the case, because Sora was not the chosen one originally. Riku was the chosen one. Meaning Riku he was a strong heart, he was like an adventurous guy. In Kingdom Hearts 1, this is clarified, Riku was the chosen one. However, at that moment when Sora gets it, remember when Sora is like reaching out to Riku as he's being consumed by darkness on Destiny Islands?
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember it very well. You act like that would be a surprising thing to remember, when in fact, no. That is a core memory of my brain.
That is probably true.
Okay,
that is part of your chain of memories.
Exactly, that's right. There it is.
Another link.
Whatever. Sora gets the Keyblade, like, in that exact moment. Sora gets the Keyblade when he's reaching out to Riku. Like, later in Kingdom Hearts 1, Riku meets Sora, and he's like, oh, by the way, like, I was actually the chosen one of the Keyblade, and he steals it back from Sora. And so the reason Sora got it, again, right out the bat, we had bullshit, crazy lore, is that at the moment when the Keyblade was manifested, like, Riku was the chosen one, right? Again, this was all retconned later, but in the Kingdom Hearts 1 lore, it was that Sora reached out to him, and at that moment, the darkness was consuming Riku's heart, and the Keyblade was like, I don't like darkness, boys. No, thank you, sir. And it jumped to, like, the closest possible candidate, which was Sora, who was, like, right next to him at that time. And that is why later in the game, Riku just, like, steals it back, because he's like, I'm the actual chosen one. Okay. But like, a little bit after that, Sora, through the power of his friends, who love him and he's got a strong heart because of friendship, the Keyblade just jumps back to Sora against Riku's will, because the Keyblade's like, okay, actually, I guess Sora's the chosen one now. He's a pretty cool guy. I'm going to stick with this guy here. The Keyblade loves strong hearts, and Sora had developed a pretty strong heart by this point. All right, tangent over. Let's return to Kingdom Hearts 3. So, as we said, we're all setting up for the big battle of 13 against 7, okay? And Sora is saving characters. How is he doing that? Let's get into it. So Sora has been trying to find the power of waking. He doesn't have it yet, but he's looking for it. Oh, sorry, I skipped back a little bit. At the end, as you're making the blitz to get to the end of the game, all the lore happens in, like, this giant 7-hour dump at the end of the game after you beat all the Disney Worlds. So that's where we're at now. So the first thing that happens is, like I said, like fucking half an hour ago or whatever, the Keyblade just decides now's the time to move the plot forward after you beat the last Disney World, and it opens a portal directly to just like to Destiny Islands, where there is a portal to the Realm of Darkness. And there's lore why, because, like, that's where Aqua had fought her battle against Darkness people in the past. It doesn't really matter. Point is, there's a portal there to the Realm of Darkness, and that's where Aqua is. So Sora goes there. Riku and the King, Mickey, are already there trying to save Aqua, but they are not succeeding. That's what they've been doing for this whole game, exploring the Realm of Darkness to try to save Aqua, to do all this fun stuff. You get there, and you beat up a big thing of darkness, and Aqua is inside the thing of darkness. Aqua got Norded. She has been darknessed, and she's like covered in darkness. Her eyes are yellow now. She's a darkness lady. Very sexual stuff.
What happened to her vulva?
Presumably as puffy as ever, but we need the forensics to confirm.
Is it yellow as well?
I can only assume.
Just like Master Xehanort's vulva.
Okay, it's as simple as this. You beat the shit out of Aqua, and she's good again. That's all there is to it. You save her from the Realm of Darkness. You did it, boys.
Much
Congratulations.
Beat the shit out of them,
and
become good.
They love it. They become good, and they love you forever. Right, so now that Aqua is just back, after like a hellish nightmare of years and years trapped in the Realm of Darkness, literally losing her fucking mind and being Norded actively by the darkness around her, she's back and everything's great. So the first thing you do, now that she's back, this whole cascade of events can happen, that being the most important first one. Now, Aqua was the only one who knew where Ventus was. Ventus was one of the 3 Keyblade dudes that you play as in Birth by Sleep. Now you can go get him and he will be, I believe, the 7th and last Keyblade wielder that you need, because the 7 that you have are Sora, Riku, Mickey, Aqua, Ventus, and Kairi, who used one briefly in Kingdom Hearts 2, and Axel. Because Axel is just a Keyblade wielder now, because Dream Drop Distance happened, and at the end, it's like a literal joke. He goes like, ugh. Can I do it? And bam, it just appears in his hand, a fucking Keyblade. I don't know why. He just figured it out, I guess. That's fine. It seems like there's this, again, there's that other lore about how, like, your heart can just manifest a Keyblade. He clearly did that. But these two lores exist in complete contradiction to each other. Are Keyblades special or not? I have no idea. By the way, in Kingdom Hearts 3, like, Axel's Keyblade is, like, said to be a joke. And they're like, are you seriously? You're telling me that's your Keyblade? That's fucking embarrassing. And they, like, immediately destroy it, like the Xehanort guys they're fighting.
Really?
Yep, that happens. So they're like, yeah, this is a bit of a joke. We don't know why this guy is a Keyblade wielder.
It sounds like it's a commentary on their own lore.
But why write it that way? Just
really
write it
does.
differently. Write a different lore. What were they thinking? I don't know what they were thinking. Okay. Now, so now that you've got Aqua alive, so the thing was, she knew where Ventus was. No one knew where he was. We know that his heart was like sleeping inside Sora, and that's how like Roxas was born, because he looks just like Roxas. Okay, so that's all happening. Aqua just knows where he is, and where he is, he's in Castle Oblivion, which is where Chain of Memories takes place. What is Castle Oblivion? Turns out it is a transmogrified place called the Land of Departure, which is where Aqua and her Keyblade bros Terra and Ventus and Master Ericus are from. They were just from this world, and after the events of Birth by Sleep, Aqua tucked Ventus's body away there and locked it with a super Keyblade. I mean, it's a normal Keyblade, but it's just her master's, and it's pretty cool. I don't know, whatever. That's the one she's using now. Coincidentally, Aqua's old Keyblade, Kairi now uses, and Aqua uses the Master Defender Keyblade, which is her Master Ericus, by the way, who is an anagram of the word square, Ericus, and he looks exactly like Hironobu Sakaguchi, the creator of Final Fantasy, which is unironically a cool thing to do. Inspiration, he's the guy who made Final Fantasy. That's all good stuff. And voiced by Mark Hamill.
Really?
Anyway,
Wow.
yep.
Nice.
It's kind of cool. Right, so...
It was Star Wars the whole time.
It is, people do say it's a lot like Star Wars, Birth by Sleep, and there's another one.
Are the midi-chlorians behind the Keyblade manifestations?
They do
Something's
have
behind
light
it.
and darkness, right?
Is
Midichlorians are the same
strong
thing.
heart genetic or environmental? We just don't know.
Best
Nature-
men are working on
One
it.
would argue that Riku's was within him, and then Sora like earned it later in Kingdom Hearts 1. That's how he could retake the Keyblade. So you clearly can strengthen your heart. Okay, so Aqua knows where Ventus is now that she's alive again. So you go with her immediately to Castle Oblivion. She uses her super Keyblade, not the Keyblade, it's just a normal Keyblade, and unlocks it, and it turns back into the Land of Departure that it used to be. So the Castle Oblivion is no more, it's like a normal place now. Okay, and you go inside and you find Ventus like immediately. There's like a fight against Vanitas, who is the dark side of Ventus. Doesn't matter, point is, you defeat him, and in this moment, Sora unlocks the power of waking finally. Excuse me, which he has like some control over. What is the power of waking? Well, it's a little unclear, but what it does right now is wake up Ventus, whose heart was asleep. So, okay, that sounds like it means what they're saying it means. We will return to the power of waking later on, almost immediately.
Boy.
So Ventus awakens, and okay, so he's alive, everything's great. You now have your 7 Keyblade boys. The very next day, you are going to go and fight the new Keyblade War, or whatever you want to call it, where 13v7, fight Master Xehanort, it's all going down. Rich.
I thought Axel was like destroyed or something.
Oh, Axel's gets destroyed, but it's probably fine. His Keyblade looks like a piece of shit. It's you know his chakrams from Kingdom Hearts 2? He uses the big spiky red chakrams. It looks like one of those with a big like kind of clear like plexiglass looking like red glowy thing attached to it. So it looks like almost like an energy weapon, and they just break it shatters, but it's probably fine. He can probably just make it again. It doesn't look like anything. It looks like bullshit.
So this happens after they've already assembled and everything.
Yeah, this happens after where we're currently at. I skipped ahead, forgive me.
The Keyblade is in his heart, so it's still there.
It seems to
The
be.
Keyblade
It seems
is his
to be.
heart.
Okay, so the war is afoot. It's all going to happen right now. The new Keyblade War. We've helped as many people as we could, Aqua and Ventus, but there are more people to save. The Roxas is still dead. Xion is still dead. They should have stayed dead. They had great endings. Whatever. We can talk about that in a little bit. And Terra, Ventus and Aqua's old buddy, is still like the body of Xehanort as his young current incarnation that was split into Ansem and Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 1. So they want to like save him because he's all fucked up and they got to do stuff to bring him back. Okay, so they head to the Keyblade Graveyard, which by the way is the same place where the Keyblade War happened from Unchained Key. What a fun time that is. And there's all these old Keyblades there. Okay, cool, doesn't matter. This is the battlefield that's been chosen to fight this big old battle. So your allies get there, all the Xehanort show up, and a giant tornado of darkness made up of Heartless appears, and I am not kidding when I say it kills every single member of your party. Everyone dies. immediately, right then and there. You all die. And Sora goes to a place called the Final World, which is clearly just the afterlife of Kingdom Hearts. Okay, so you're there.
It's established that the worlds in the Kingdom Hearts multiverse are of the same type as the afterlife in Kingdom Hearts. They're all just different worlds. That's what you're saying.
Yes, but I mean, you can actually travel in and out of the what's called the Final World. I think that is probably a different type of world. 'Cause there are different types of world. For example, the Realm of Darkness is a totally different place than all the places you go to. You travel to different worlds in the Realm of Light.
Okay.
The Realm of Darkness is like the Realm of Light. Like, we haven't seen any worlds there, just the realm.
But presumably they exist.
Maybe, or maybe it's all just one kind of homogeneous darkness landscape.
Okay.
It's
all right,
possible.
so where's this new world? Sorry to get it.
We
off
just
track
don't
here.
know, but it's well, I guess we know a little bit because we learned that it's that death. It just clearly is implied to be the afterlife. It's where you go when you're dead or dying. It might be near the realm of dreams, and you do visit the realm of dreams in dream drop distance. You drop in to those dreams at a distance, and there you go.
That does sound awesome.
It's just great. Okay, I don't know. You're in the afterlife,
You're
basically.
dead, yeah.
You're dead. So what happens here? You meet something named Chirithy. They're these like cat creatures that are like the allies that hang out with you and help you in. They're like Moogles, but Kingdom Heartsified. They look like cats in Unchained Key. Whatever. So they're tying in the lore from Unchained Key or whatever, and you meet one of them here, and they're like, hey, you're dead, but you might be able to fix it with the power of waking. Now, what did the power of waking do before? It woke up a sleeping heart. Now, what is it doing now? Turning back time, baby. We're going back before we all died to that big tornado.
Prince of Persia!
Basically.
I'm doing it.
So you do a bunch of Final World quests for sort of like reassemble his body, whatever, and then that just happens. Very strangely, you just then you finish your time in the Final World. Sora is reassembled, and then you just wake up at the cutscene right before everyone died to the giant tornado of darkness, and no one comments on it at all. So it's unclear if anyone else even knows that happened except Sora. No, this is always a little confusing point, whether or not this was actual time travel or like a vision or something. I believe it was actual time travel, and the others did comment on it a little bit, but not nearly as much as you would think they would, considering they all just time traveled. So that's why it's confusing. Right. So, okay, so you were in the Final World and you met a Chirithy, right? One of those cat guys. So what happens now is that same tornado of death appears. However, something different happens now, and all those Keyblades that were in the Keyblade graveyard, they all come to life to help you, because all those keys belong to players of the mobile game, Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, such as myself. And then in a big old QuickTime event, or press triangle to win event, all those keys just defeat the giant darkness. And by the way, in this event, names of the actual players are what is used on the thing. I've hunted for my name. I cannot find it. There's no way I'm in that list, but I looked. And the clear implication here is all the players of the mobile game help you defeat the giant tornado of darkness, so you don't all die this time. Cool.
So when you're dead, do you change something to make it so that happens when you get resurrected?
I think the difference here is that you talked to Chirithy, that cat creature, which we know was like a partner of. It is not clarified. If what you're asking is for clarity, there is no major clarification for why things happen differently. But all that happens is you put yourself back together and you talk to Chirithy. I think it's not a stretch to say that's probably what did the trick. It seems basically to make sense.
Makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Time traveling cats.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that happens, oh, by the way, we'll probably mention this guy, the kind of the leader of that group of people that all help you defeat the giant thing of darkness, or help the Keyblades individually. You see a guy who you can recognize from the mobile game, a guy named EPHEMER. It's like ephemera, but there's no A at the end. It's hard to pronounce name. But EPHEMER appears as like the leader's like, yeah, we did it, guys. And we will mention EPHEMER later. He appears more in the lore of the mobile game. We'll get back to that. Okay, so you see him, and Sora kind of meets him briefly. Okay, let us now address the nature of the members of the new Organization XIII. So they are composed of... Rich?
I guess maybe you'll expand on this later, but after the Keyblades resurrect and help you or whatever, do you win? Like, do the good guys win?
That's a great question. So it defeats specifically the giant tornado of darkness, conveniently not killing the 13 more people that it would take to end this battle, but letting you do it personally for the end of the game. So it defeats the big, like, all the Heartless that were gonna just swarm and kill you. It lets you fight the organization yourself. Yeah. So that's where you're left. Although think about this. Your enemy just killed all of you. He wants you alive so he can make the Keyblade. Why did he do that? There is no explanation. I mean, now I guess the backup plan activates to go get those second set of 7 princesses, so maybe there was some reason to have them.
Maybe the cat was an agent of darkness, turning back time.
There actually is a cat agent of darkness who is a major player in the Unchained Key lore. It's known as like Dark Chirithy or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We're not going to get into Dark Chirithy though.
No.
That's 103 stuff.
That's 103. 103, The Adventures of Dark Chirithy.
Okay, so I want to explain just a little bit of how the new organization was formed. The Organization XIII from Kingdom Hearts II was composed of just really strong nobodies that were found around in a fairly organic way. And okay, this is a retcon. Originally, the nobody of Apprentice Xehanort that split into Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, the villain of Kingdom Hearts I, and Xemnas, the nobody who leads the organization in Kingdom Hearts II. The original nature of Organization XIII was, again, 13 normal nobodies that were assembled to be a strong force, to manipulate Sora and the Keyblade, to make a artificial Kingdom Hearts, and to give themselves new hearts. That was their original goal. As of Dream Drop Distance, that is hard retconned and said to now have all along been the plan of Xemnas, who knew the whole time that they would just grow hearts eventually anyway, and none of that mattered, which is the plot of the entire game. What a nightmare. Their actual plan was to do this whole, like, make 13 Darkness boys who would eventually fight 7 guys to make the Keyblade and, control Kingdom Hearts and the fate of all worlds.
Question for you.
Scotty, yes.
Where in the lore did the first world-ending event happen? Was that after 2?
You could say that the end of Kingdom Hearts 1 is pretty close to a universe-ending event. Like, you travel to, like, 10, 20 worlds, something like that in Kingdom Hearts 1, but you get to a place, the last world you go to in Kingdom Hearts 1 is this place called the End of the World, and the lore of that place, it's assembled from these withered tiny pieces that used to be full worlds that are all collapsing, and, like, they combine into, like, one mass at the end, like a black hole collapsing in on itself or something. Okay. And it is, the lore of that is that if you don't stop Ansem from spreading more darkness, that's going to happen to every world. So technically, that was going to happen in Kingdom Hearts 1 if you didn't save the day. Okay. So there was a world-ending event there.
I'm just wondering if they're, like, different worlds, basically. Like, you have this retcon because it's a new world. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm trying to understand, like, was that for this first world-ending event, like, you have this hard retcon.
Yeah.
To me, it's possible that, like, in World 1, you have these rules, and the rules are different for the second world that we now have. Like, is that, like, does the timeline match up to, like, new rules and new story, or is it all just bullshit?
It depends which retcon you're talking about and which change in the continuity. Some of them totally break things. Some of them break things in the lore. Some of them, like, technically, no one said Xemnas wasn't lying the entire time and knew that hearts actually regrow. However, every action Xemnas takes in Kingdom Hearts 2 is that of someone actively trying to regrow their heart. And the way he, like, extemporizes about how badly he wants a heart. Would he do that why would he waste his own time doing that if he didn't actively believe it? That is what I call, like, a soft retcon. It clearly wasn't this way before. Now it is. It doesn't, like, shatter the lore. It just undermines the only good fucking storytelling in this goddamn abortion of a series. Good storytelling started to get bad. Good storytelling, nightmare. Yeah. That's the series. Okay, Did I answer that question? I mean,
you're pretty much just a hard no.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
It's all bullshit.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. I feel better.
Good. So, okay, I just, for fun, I wanted to explain the nature of the new Organization XIII, which is this. It is that, this is why I mentioned it. The old one was like Nobodies, right? This one is not like that at all. This one, it's closer to a all-star list of like the villains that you fought throughout the games, because there's been a million games now up to this. So the new Organization XIII is composed of, I'm not going to list all of them, but like Master Xemnas himself. It's Ansem, the villain from Kingdom Hearts 1, Xemnas from Kingdom Hearts 2, Riku Replica from Chain of Memories, not Riku. Oh, and Riku Replica, by the way, died. This is the other thing, time travel. Time travel is how all these guys who were killed earlier in the series are now appearing again. But, okay, I've just got to say this. This is what I wanted to get to about this. It's that time travel was established with specific lore in Dream Drop Distance, where it came in, it ruined everything, but it was established. And it's this. When you time travel in Kingdom Hearts, which I guess anybody can do if you know how to do it, you cannot take your body. You can only travel with your heart. And so you can only travel to places that you existed somewhere in the past or the future.
What about your eye if you put it on a Keyblade?
Well, you know what? I give the Master of Masters a little bit of a pass there, because technically speaking, that sort of makes sense. How, like, he's sending a physical object that is like recording stuff that would exist in the future. It has this magic ability to send it to him in the past, but that one kind of makes sense to me. It's not like this where people are traveling all over the place and doesn't make sense. I won't get into all the specific details how even in this game, Dream Drop Distance, it already undermines itself because time travel had to happen in Birth by Sleep for the secret boss, young Xehanort, to even appear there, where he never appeared before as himself. Okay, I can't get into all those details, but what I can say is that Dream Drop Distance was super clear. You have to time travel to a place where you existed at some point, past or future, and you cannot take your body. Okay. Now that is immediately shat upon in Kingdom Hearts 3 by the assembly of the new organization. And how do they do it? How do they do it? Through the magic of replicas from Chain of Memories. Because by using a replica, like an empty shell of a body, you can just time travel anywhere, and then they cram your heart that appears into a replica, and you've got a new, as far as we can tell, like totally perfect biological body that you would have had if you just traveled there in any other way. So in this way, Master Xehanort assembles versions of himself from all the greatest hits of the series. Young Xehanort, Old Xehanort, Xemnas, Ansem, Xigbar. Is Xigbar still alive? No, Xigbar died. He's a time travel guy.
Oh, boy.
Or actually, he may have been, another delightful lore retcon. And this is a retcon. People fight me on this, but it's a fucking retcon. Is that in Kingdom Hearts 2, you know, Sora kills some people. Sora kills Nobodies, and they were dead. There was never any bullshit about, they were fucking dead, and he killed them. And it was brutal and badass. It's the edgiest game in the series, and I love it dearly.
It shows.
And yeah, good. Gotta rep my boy Roxas again while I'm talking about the best game ever made. So, I love you, my man. They ruined him too in Kingdom Hearts 3, and we'll get to that as well. But here we go. It's Sora killed people in Kingdom Hearts 2. That definitely happened. However, the thing is, in I think around Dream Drop Distance, or it might have been 358. In fact, it actually was by 358 because the character Shion that appears there and dies at the end was pretty clearly set up to be a sob story death that was gonna come back later. However, I do not stipulate that with Kingdom Hearts 2 characters like Roxas, the best character ever made. When you kill a Nobody or a Heartless, as far as we know, they just fucking die, and that's all there is to it. The heart of the Heartless it'll return to Kingdom Hearts, which means they're dead, and they're gonna be reborn like a Buddhism cycle of reincarnation kind of thing, or they'll become something totally different, whatever. That seemed to be the idea, basically. But in around 358, Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance, that kind of region, new lore is added that specifically, I forget which game it was, but the first thing was said, if you kill, I believe it was the Heartless of a person, like their Heartless that's formed when they're split into a Heartless and a Nobody, and then you kill their Nobody, it might have been the other way around, it was one of those two, you have to kill in a specific order, they will then be restored to their original whole being. And by the way, that is how Master Xehanort comes back after dying as like Terra, like a million years ago. He's just restored through this process of... Now, you would think Master Xehanort would be restored to the person that he was when he was split originally, which was apprentice Xehanort around the end of Birth by Sleep era. But no, for no reason, he is just restored to the old man version of himself. I don't know why. That's just what happened. That's how it is. Something about it was his heart rejected Terra that he had fused with at the time. I don't know. Whatever.
He didn't have enough friendship.
He didn't have enough friendship. A common mistake in the Kingdom Hearts universe. The point of this whole new organization thing is that characters that were really supposed to be dead just get brought back through time travel, replicas, literally making new versions of them, like in the case of Xion, and stuff like that. And we will briefly touch on those things. I think I've got a list of the ones I want to specifically mention. Oh yes, and to put the fine point on it, I just want to say that this is the ultimate retcon / get out of jail free card with the replicas. It allows so much bullshit to happen.
It really does. Yeah.
But again, Nomura's whole deal with Kingdom Hearts 3 was, we will save everyone who suffered in any way. Now, the problem is, in a game like Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 2 is a tragic game. Roxas is a tragic character. That's why he's good. He existed, but his existence is this like fucked up, heartless, lack of a heart, not literal heartless. He is a nobody, which means he does have a body. That like the best he could hope for in existence would be to be reabsorbed into Sora and live by extension like through Sora's experiences, which is also what happens with Naminé going back into Sora. And that was the best life a nobody who was in Kingdom Hearts 2. The lore was they are not supposed to exist. They are like freaks of nature. That's the best they could hope for, and that's what they get at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2. Since that, my grief with all this is that Nomura changed his mind about all that, about bad endings or any kind of tragedy, and is like, no, everyone needs a fucking pizza party together, all of them literally there at the end of the game, or else it's bullshit, and I ain't doing that. And maybe he wants to bring them back for like merchandising purposes or putting them in more games. I don't know, something like that. So like this is clearly the inspiration for all of this shit. And Nomura is the only kind of guy. If it was me, I'd say, look, you don't need to understand, player, why this is happening. It's just happening. Fuck off. But Nomura makes specific explanations for all these terrible writing choices, all of which can be picked apart endlessly and are just the worst example of hack writing imaginable. But I do kind of admire the autism. So, all right. So just to go through the specific examples here. So Roxas, how does Roxas come back to life? Because now the final battle is happening. While the big battle is happening, the 7 good boys versus the 13 bad boys, everyone splits up and just starts fighting. As that's happening, your friends start to come back to life in various ways. So let's count the ways. I think there's 4 I want to talk about, maybe 5. Xion. Who is Xion? She's the 358/2 clone of Sora made from his memories. So she fucking died. Not only did she die, at the end of the game, everyone forgets her because the chain of memories gets shattered, and the whole deal is no one can remember you. The particular way she died as like a memory golem, that was the whole thing with her. That's what made her death tragic. No one would even remember her, including her best friends, Roxas and Axel. However, apparently, like records existed of Xion in like a database somewhere, because she was made by someone in the past, and so they just made a new one to be one of the 13 darknesses. Now, for the record, there are several other people who are like affiliated with the new Organization 13, such as Demix and some other guys that are already there and are, as they put it, like benched. So they're not the 13 guys. So there was no need to spend the way right. There was no need to take any extra effort to literally create a new memory golem. It was not necessary. They had extra people literally on the sides waiting to go, but that needed to happen so we could bring her back to life. And here's how it happened. So she is a new clone, a new iteration of Xion, but ever since Roxas killed Xion, turns out, because now we know with the retcons of Dream Drop Distance, hearts are real resilient, man. They just don't die no matter what for some reason. During the battle, the heart is apparently just inside Sora and just comes out and goes into the conveniently prepared body of new Xion, and she is restored to Xion that we all knew and loved at like the time she died. She's just back. Hearts are memories. She's got the memories. She's our best friend again. Boom. 1 saved. Done. Scotty, what's up?
Is this Sora's extra heart that came out?
This is one, at this point, I believe he has 4 hearts inside him at this point. He's got Sora heart, he's got Ventus heart, he's got Roxas heart, and he's got Xion heart. And he's going through all the games since like Kingdom Hearts, since 358 ends. He has 4 hearts inside his body, because Roxas has a heart, and Xion has a heart, and Ventus has a heart, and Sora has his own heart, and
his body
there you
is
go.
The Kingdom Hearts. Really.
Basically, this is why. If you're wondering why Sora is everyone, this stuff is why, and why Xehanort is everyone else. We're starting to get the picture of why everyone is these 2 characters.
I really got the impression after Kingdom Hearts 2 that Roxas did not have a heart.
Well, Roxas was a special case, I think, because he was made with Naminé in like some fucked up process that Nobodies are not normally supposed to be made. And like, I mean, I always got the impression that Roxas did have a heart, and they just kept telling him he didn't. I don't know. That seems to make sense in the lore, that like Roxas specifically was not like a normal nobody, but like everybody else, maybe Naminé was? I don't know. It's actually kind of hard to tell if you're a nobody or not, if you have a heart or not. Because you act normal, you apparently just cannot experience emotions. But you can remember what emotions were like, and you can act as though you still have them. That's the deal with them. Okay, we got one saved best friend. Next best friend. Let's save Roxas right now. So here's how Roxas was saved in an incredibly convoluted nonsense plot, which is this. So Xion was already saved. So Roxas was reabsorbed into Sora at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 in the actual happy ending where the story ended. None of this happened afterward. But if it had, what Nomura's stupid-ass brain would have come up with is that basically they had to do 2 things. They had to prepare a body for Roxas, so they had the bad guys. They infiltrated the bad guys' lair to steal a replica, because the bad guys have the replica technology. They took one, and they had to like do some stupid shit to like awaken the memory or the spark of Roxas' soul that's buried deep down in Sora, and that triggered just like, I think it was Xion. I don't know where I'm pointing, but like Xion, the one we just talked about, who was best friends with Roxas, she just did that. She remembered Roxas, and they made a connection or whatever, and that brought his soul out of Sora into a replica. And as we talked about, ultimate get out of jail free card. You've got a new body. Roxas is his own boy, now and forevermore. We did it. We found a way. So all that shit in Kingdom Hearts 2 about how, hey man, sometimes life just like isn't totally 100% fair. You need to be able to have resilience and understand that there is tragedy in life. Nope, out the window we go, baby. Pizza parties until the end of time. Everyone's having a great day. Okay. 2, 3 more. All right, Terra. Now there's no way. There's just no way Terra could come back. What happened to Terra, you ask? In Birth by Sleep, Terra, strong darkness boy Keyblade man, was possessed by old man Master Xehanort, who had prepared his body to be his vessel. He then had spent several years in that possessed form, lost his memory, became basically an entirely new person called Apprentice Xehanort with a new life experience as a scientist, which he was not before, and then was split into 2 dudes, Xemnas and Ansem. So that was his existence, 2 separate dudes. However, as we talked about, when you take a Nobody and a Heartless and you kill them in some order, the lore originally was you have to kill them in some order and then they will reform the original person. That's just been waved away. No, you kill them in whatever order. No one ever dies. That's just the lore now. No one ever fucking dies. They will all come back no matter what you do. And this brings back old man Xehanort somehow. And there's a particular lore about this, about how Terra was restored. I think he's actually a time travel guy that they put the heart of Terra into. I can't remember exactly what it is. And our friends beat him up until he just feels better again, and he's just fine now. They just like hug him and like awaken his heart too, and now he's fine again because our enemies conveniently set him up to be saved for us. Isn't that great for us? Okay, wonderful. So Terra inexplicably is saved. Fine. Naminé. Now, there's no way Naminé's coming back, right? Well, let's check the tape, shall we? So Naminé is a nobody formed of Sora when Kairi's heart was inside Sora's body. He was turned into a nobody. That made 2 nobodies because the 2 different hearts. Naminé and Roxas, and Naminé's special because a princess of a heart like Kairi isn't supposed to have a nobody, because you can't have a nobody from a soul with 0 darkness, but it was inside Sora when it was separated, so this is a rare exception and gave her memory powers that connected her to the chain of memories, and it's just that simple.
Makes sense.
This is all 101 stuff, yeah. So Naminé is within Kairi. They kind of fused at the end of Kingdom Hearts II, just like Roxas and Sora did. And
corrupting her forever with Naminé's darkness.
It's with Kai. No. Well, oh yeah, I guess it does. You're right. Naminé would have, I guess, a little bit of darkness. She's a big exception. None of the rules apply to Naminé. Whatever. So there was this Riku replica was one of the bad guys, and you just beat him up. And there was a separate Riku replica. So that was a time travel Riku replica that the bad guys are using from the moment when he was an evil guy. However, when you killed Riku replica in Chain of Memories, turns out all along he didn't die as he obviously was depicted to in that game. He actually, just like all these other characters, just went into Riku's heart, the real Riku, and at this moment, years later, he just emerges and possesses the body of the other Riku replica, and like the souls cancel each other out, leaving an empty something. Like he carries him away. They both die together, and so this character seems to actually be dead. It seems like they finally got one. He ripped his soul out of his body and carried him away. I think they're dead, and we got another empty replica body to be used after the credits roll for Kairi's soul to be chopped up and to pull the Naminé part out and stuck into that soul. So Naminé's also fine, but that happens a little bit later. There you go. Simple, easy stuff. And, okay, that's it for the saves. These incredibly ridiculous, that's every character who had any kind of negative fate. Some of them were set up to be saved, obviously, like Xion in 358. All the ones in 2 were not set up and totally ruined their character arcs. Oh well, what can you do? So, at the end of the battle, just as everybody is fighting and all this stuff is going on, the clash does happen, and Keyblade fighters all fight each other. 7 Heart boys, 7 good Keyblade guys fight 13 Darkness Keyblade guys, and we see Master Xehanort at the end. He's got 12 of his little Keyblades, but we need one more clash because he hasn't fought anybody yet. And then, so what he does to make Sora pull the final trigger is he pulls up Kairi. He just teleports her to him because she's, a girl and she can't fight back, even though she's been training the whole game to fight. You would not believe how cucked Kairi is in this game, despite spending years training to be a Keyblade fighter. She does get a boss fighter you can play as her, but still, embarrassing. Terrible performance. Almost as bad as Axel, to be fair. Point is, he pulls Kairi to him and he fucking kills her on the spot. He just kills Kairi. She dies at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 and is dead. So she's gone, and Sora's real sad about that. So he runs up and he hits Master Xehanort with the Keyblade. He's, whatever, no, don't kill my girlfriend. Too late, already did. This makes the 13th Keyblade of his, and the Keyblade is formed at long last here in modernity. Master Xehanort gets the Keyblade, and he immediately makes a whole 2 Kingdom Hearts that he goes to control the universe.
Oh no.
It's not good. So what do we do now? Kairi's dead, and he's got the Keyblade. What do we do? We're putting aside the Kairi question for a moment, because I don't know what we can do about that right now. Our boy Sora uses his newly found power of waking with all his best friends to blast a hole into the heart of Master Xehanort, and you go into his heart for the final battle against Master Xehanort as he's trying to take over Kingdom Hearts.
This is some Psychonauts shit.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Now, inside his heart, what's it look like? It's a new world we've never seen before, this place called Scala ad Caelum, which means stairway to something in Latin, I think. I can't remember. Now, we've seen snippets of this place before here and there. It's where when Xehanort was a kid, we saw him playing some kind of Kingdom Hearts chess with Master Ericus. They were best friends when they were kids. So we're like his memories of his youth or whatever. Point is, you fight him a lot, and you keep on fighting him, and eventually you win. You beat him up, and he's going to die. Well, he's not going to die, but he loses to you. Sora, Donald, and Goofy, all together as the original trio. That you just beat him up a lot, and you finally beat him, and that's the final battle, and it's over. So what happens when you have physically defeated Master Xehanort? Well, somewhere along here, I think he finally explains his motivation a little bit more clearly, and it was totally unclear up to this point exactly what. We inferred he wanted power and control. The original Ansem was a scientist who was interested in the nature of darkness. This is a very different character than that guy. Basically, he says that, like, the world needs a strong leader. I am the strong leader. Light and darkness were getting out of sway. Like, there was too much light, not enough darkness. Basically, the plot of Final Fantasy III is going on here. Light and darkness need to be in their proper balance. Too much of either one, not good. So I will just take control of the universe and rule it. Maybe some little bits of, like, I'll reshape it in my image might have been in there. Some, a sprinkling of that here or there. So that was his deal. And that's what he did. But you just beat him up, so that's not going to happen. And so Sora actively convinces him by just making a Chad sovereign citizen argument and saying, no, every man gets to have a McNuke on his lawn and get to determine his own destiny. Libertarian Sora going wild out here.
Oh my God.
And so he actually convinces Master Xehanort after beating the shit out of him, like, hey man, you just gotta let people be free and shit. And Master Xehanort says, I'm thoroughly convinced, Sora. You win. I was wrong this whole time. I apologize.
Full on Facebook argument. They're all solved.
That's
comment.
Right. That's all it took. That's all it took.
Someone believing the argument is the least believable part of this whole thing. I was following up till that point.
It sure is convenient that he suddenly takes he's now listening to Sora after you just stopped him from taking over the universe. I don't know if I'd be so willing to listen to reason. All right, anyway. So you beat him up, and what does Master Xehanort do now? Oh, well, actually, so all your friends that you saved, they all kind of warp in. You're still in Master Xehanort's heart. So you beat him up, and you're like, hey friends, come in here and join me, since we just beat this guy up.
Pizza.
They all come. Pizza party time. They all come in, and they just kind of all surround you. And so Terra, who we saved previously, right? He was one of the guys that we saved out of his heart. So he had a couple of Matryoshka dolls going on as well. In Birth by Sleep, he sort of accidentally killed, Master Xehanort really did it, but he softened him up, his teacher, Master Ericus. And Master Ericus' soul, his heart rather, was inside Terra, who was possessed by Master Xehanort this whole time. And he comes out of that boy, and he says, Xehanort, you're still my best friend, buddy. I forgive you for all this shit you did. All the countless genocides, worlds ended, unbelievable damage done. Friendships ended over this shit, but this friendship will not be shaken by something so trivial. And so they are very friendly. He's like hugging up on him. He's like, hey buddy, it's been a while. And they turn into like the kids, like the kid versions that we saw playing chess and like the flashbacks and stuff. So it's just like a few lessons were learned, but Master Xehanort is dead anyway. So I guess it's fine.
Sounds like Sakaguchi.
It does, yeah, that's true. Can't he just make up with Square and take over Final Fantasy again? Maybe we'd have a good game in my lifetime. I don't know. Probably not. As two kids, as two old dead men, they just float away together, and they are gone. They seem to now be actively dead. Oh, and by the way, everything up to Kingdom Hearts 3 and like the DLC and stuff has been called, or it was at some point, Nomura came out with a name for it called the Dark Seeker Saga or the Xehanort Saga. And so Xehanort just died. He's gone. That's it. He finally left because you beat him up. Yeah, Rich.
He's not in the final world?
He might well be in the final world now, but presumably he's at peace with dying and not controlling the whole universe for now. I mean, Sora made a strong argument.
Okay.
So that's all there is to it as far as I understand. And so that's it. So you leave. Oh, and Master Xehanort, he gave the Keyblade to Sora. So Sora got the Keyblade. Thank you. Yeah, good eye. And so Sora used it to close the hole to Kingdom Hearts. So we have resolved this plot very nicely. However, have we forgotten something? Kairi's still dead. Kairi is dead and has not come back. So what do we do about that? And that's pretty much where the story ends of Kingdom Hearts 3, the base game. Literally everyone goes to have a beach party, a pizza party, if you will. And and Sora says, I'm going to go find Kairi. What does that mean? I don't know. Use the power of waking, maybe? Okay, fine, whatever. So at the very last scene you see of the base Kingdom Hearts 3 is Sora with Kairi at the pizza party. They're having a fine time, but then Sora like fades away into dust. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good moment here. So Kairi is back. He seemed to save Kairi, but Sora like faded away and died. What does this mean? Reconnect, Final Fantasy. That's the end of the game. Okay, but luckily DLC was released. And this isn't normal DLC for Kingdom Hearts. Like in the other ones, they made final mix versions that had more gameplay and like a little bit of story. This is like the next episode of the Kingdom Hearts story, where we find out what did Sora do during that time. It's called the Kingdom Hearts III Remind DLC, whatever. So, what happens in Remind? So, we just go straight from when Sora left the group after they won to go save Kairi. What did he do? Yep, he used the power of waking. He did something like this before when he turned back time to save everybody after he left the final world. He had to go like travel from people's heart to heart and like pull them back into reality so they could all go fight the darkness again, and when he had all the Keyblade guys help him. So he does something like that again, and he's finding Kairi's heart shards. There's like 5 little shards of her heart from time traveling the events of like the end of the game. Now conveniently, coincidentally, this happens to allow Nomura to just allow him to you can just replay the events of the end of the game, and Sora just appears there as like a ghost to like be searching for the shards of Kairi's heart, which are for some reason in these events and not anything else. Okay, fine. Okay, let me just see here.
He's preparing Kingdom Hearts 2 lore. I see it
now. All right, what do we say, boys? When you walk away, you don't hear me say, please, oh baby, don't go. I love you, Roxas, to the day I die. All right, so we are time traveling to find shards of Kairi's heart and bring her back, baby. So what does that mean? All right. So you replay, it's kind of shitty, the beginning part of the Remind episode. You just you kind of redo a bunch of the stuff from that ending gauntlet. You fight some of the bosses. You, again, kind of like in the Frozen episode or a lot of the worlds of Kingdom Hearts 3, where you just play the entirety of the Let It Go scene from Frozen with Sora in the back going, you know, that's...
Quality content.
It's quality content. Just like that, the same scenes play out, but Sora's back there going... You know, he's doing it again. I don't know. Was this like a cheap way to recycle content? I don't know. Whatever. It's not the worst part of the game. It's actually pretty good because you can skip the cutscenes because you've seen them all before, which is great. Eventually you find the shards of Kairi's heart. There are some new bosses here. You know, it's not all bad. It's kind of fun. You end up back in Scala ad Caelum again, that world which was like in Xehanort's mind or whatever. So you finally got back like into Xehanort's mind. By the way, just for the record, this is by far the most fun part of the game, being in Scala ad Caelum again, like the final world, because it's got puzzles, it lets you explore, it's a Kingdom Hearts original world, so it doesn't waste your time with any Disney nonsense, and it's like a gameplay focused area, so it doesn't interrupt you constantly with awful cutscenes and awful dialogue. So it's just the best part of the game, save for the last. So skip all the game, skip all the cutscenes up to that point, play it from there. That's my recommendation. Point being, Sora finds the shards of Kairi's heart. Hooray, we did it. And you get you get a new battle inside this world again, fighting Master Xehanort. But now you can play as Kairi for the first time in the series, and it's kind of cool. She has kind of a cool moveset. Great job, Kairi. All right, that's it. So, Kairi comes back to life at the end of the game, and we see that scene that we saw before of Sora like disappearing, and so that just plays again. So now we know how Sora saved her. He used the power of waking, blah, 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 but Mickey had warned him. By the way, this is why Sora faded away and appeared to die or whatever. Mickey warned him, this just came out of nowhere, if you use the power of waking too much, you could like die or something. That simply stated to be the case. That is why Sora fades away. He just used it too much. He says something about how it's not supposed to be used this way. How is it supposed to be used? No clarification is given the correct way to use it. Like maybe because like they used it to wake up Ventus. Was waking someone up the right way to do it, but not like time travel to manipulate reality? Why are those the same power? I don't know.
It's called the power of time travel, right?
I think so. I believe is what it was referred to as. He fucks up
at the beginning. I got it.
Indeed. So the power of waking turns out to just be this like an effective way for like retcons to just happen. You can go change anything you want. You can redo stuff. It ripped off Homestuck, frankly. Arm Retrieval covered this extensively, and it's happening again. Okay, so everyone else is happy at the pizza party. Kairi's back, but she's sad Sora faded away or died or whatever. And so now that Kairi is back, everyone's on a new thing that's like, how do we get Sora back? Now Sora is gone. What do we do? He saved Kairi, but he faded away. What can we do? And so we will get back to that. But there's one or two other like ending cutscenes at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, which is, so if you recall, Luxu, who is the apprentice of the Master of Masters from Unchained Key and all the key lore, he was the guy who was given the Keyblade with the eye on it that Master Xehanort had, now in the present, to carry forward in time so that the prophecy book could be written that the Master of Masters was reading from to know the future, right? Make sense? So that guy shows up again now, like a billion years in the future, and he has this thing that they were looking for unspecified reasons due to the lore of Unchained Key. Oh, I'm sorry. This actually was set up in the movie back cover. The Master of Masters also gave Luxu an additional thing to his Keyblade, which was a big black box. We do not know what is inside. He told him you cannot look inside. A big literal mystery box in the plot.
That's good writing.
It's great writing. And throughout all of Kingdom Hearts 3, like Pete from Goofy lore and Maleficent were spending all their time looking for the fucking black box. Because Maleficent actually, by the way, is integral to the lore of Unchained Key. She like time traveled, or she was there at the time and just survived until, I don't even know, I don't care to know what's going on with that. The point is they're looking for the fucking box. What is in the box? We don't know.
Is it Sora?
It's
He's in there.
Sora is like out doing maybe through time travel. All things are possible, so it's possible, but we have no idea even now. But so Luxu shows up and he's got the fucking box. He's got the box and he's got Rich.
How does he show up? He just shows up.
He just shows up. Well, I'll tell you how he shows up, because he takes off his hood and reveals that Luxu is a character named Xigbar, one of the many Xehanorts. So Xigbar, who was kind of a mysterious character who knew too much, who had a larger role in Birth by Sleep, of he wanted the Keyblade that Master Xehanort had. How much of this was planned and is retcons along the way, who knows? We are now informed that Xigbar is Luxu from the past, and this is his like current form. He talks as though he's been, like his body is being possessed by the person named as Luxu. He's hopped from body to body. That's how he survived a million, billion, trillion years since the days of fairy tales and antiquity. That is what we are informed. Rich.
Is this the same Xigbar that like is the sniper guy who
That's
shoots
correct.
You?
The same sniper guy who wanted the Keyblade, who used to be Braig before he became a nobody, who wanted the Keyblade that Master Xehanort had. And that Keyblade that he wanted, it seemed like he just wanted a Keyblade. Now we're like, oh, this is a lore-specific one that the Master of Masters had. Whoops. And them's just the breaks. That's how it goes. So, but then another crucial thing happens. After he shows up, who should appear around Luxu, now that he's got the box and... I don't think he actually has the Keyblade with him, but he's got the fucking box, which we still don't know what's inside. Who should appear around Luxu here, or Xigbar, whatever you want to call him, but the foretellers, who are those animal motherfuckers from Unchained Key who had prophecies and shit. Now Luxu had survived by hopping bodies. This is established. Now, how did the foretellers get to modernity here and survive like a million, billion years of stuff? Don't know yet, but we will return to that in a little bit. Okay, so the box has secrets and lore and is important. We are informed as of back cover. Yeah.
You gotta buy the loot
We
box.
do not know what is in. I don't even know what could be inside the box, but that's just the beauty of the mystery box. That's called good writing, to leave yourself options so that you don't have to commit to anything right now, and you can stick and move as you need to.
This is literally what I do as a dungeon master. It's like, here's a mystery thing. You'll know what it is when the time is right. Yeah.
And do you always have a 100% plan?
I have 0%.
That's how I feel Nomura is at. Maybe now he's going. I don't know.
It's a bad DM like me.
Okay.
It's great.
So there's one other thing about, we were talking about the end cutscenes at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 and the Remind DLC. The only other thing that we see is, or rather before we get to the Remind, the only other thing we see is, I believe this does show at the end before Remind, we see a cutscene of, so like last time we saw Sora, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so gooded and faded away, maybe dead or whatever, because he overused the power of waking. We now see Sora walking in a city. He like wakes up, he's on like asphalt, he gets up, he's in like a skyscraper city, and Riku is also there. They're not together, but they're both seem to be in a city. It's like a spooky, scary place. They're walking around, and we see a character standing on a skyscraper, which I will describe in a moment, who is just looking down on them, or looking down at Riku or Sora, one of them. And we see another character there who looks... Okay, the thing about the Master of Masters is that he is wearing the same black coat that all the organization members wear. So he is visually indistinguishable from almost any other character in the fucking series. But based on the fact that he does this, he looks up at the moon and he goes like this and makes a heart, and it seems like playful and silly. It seems like it's probably the Master of Masters. Maybe it's Lushu. We have no idea who it is, but it's somebody of importance. And clearly this is implying that Nomura is going to do something with this character someday soon. Okay, but that other character who I didn't describe. So who is that other person that we see looking down at like Sora and Riku? Their name is Yozora. Who is Yozora? And yes, there's lots of interesting stuff to say about Yozora, but I'll just say this for now. We'll get back to it in a bit. It's that Yozora is a character from a video game that we see a commercial for within the Toy Story world of Kingdom Hearts. All right, so Kingdom Hearts is a video game series. Within that series, there is a Toy Story world. There is a popular video game franchise called Verum Rex, of which Yozora is the main character of that game inside Kingdom Hearts, inside Toy Story. Okay, makes sense?
Pretty cool.
Yep.
And he looks like a Final Fantasy character, so... and in the Toy Story world, when you explore, you go to the mall and you run around in there, there's a big, Square Enix display, and there's tons of posters, and they're selling the game of Verum Rex. And at one weird moment, you actually go into the TV and then appear in the world of Verum Rex for some amount of time. Was this an illusion? Did you literally go there? Kind of unclear, but something is going on there. Okay, so you see that guy, Rich.
What's the Latin translation of Verum Rex?
Verum Rex means the true king. And I will tell you why when we get a little bit further at the end of the Remind section. There is, okay, brace for impact.
Got it.
Okay. So like we said, in the Remind episode, he saved Kairi. We all know what happened with there. Two other things happen in the Remind DLC. One is we get this thing called the Limit Cut episode. The Limit Cut episode is, there were 3 episodes, the Remind, Limit Cut, and the Secret episode. Okay, so Limit Cut, the second of the 3, it shows Riku, who is trying to find where Sora went. Where did Sora go? Why is he dead? What can we do to bring him back? So what they do is, because this has never failed them before, they make a data version of Sora, and they put it in a computer, this is also what happened in Kingdom Hearts Coded. That was a little, because they were trying to hack a digitized journal entry, so they used a data Sora to go in and fight the bugs to hack the mainframe and get the information they needed as setting up for Birth by Sleep lore. Right, okay. So what's happening here is Data Sora needs to go beat up digital versions of the new Organization XIII in order to, yet again, hopefully hack the mainframe and get secret lore data that they might have about the location of Sora. Now, why would beating up digital versions of the new organization members result in information on where Sora currently is right now? We can only speculate. I have no idea. Were you gonna, Scotty?
Who created the digital new Organization 13?
From their combat data inserted into a... Now, who assembled... What does that mean? I don't know what that means. They put it into a computer, and it made, digital versions of them that you fight. Now, okay, to be fair, what this is really about is that, like in Kingdom Hearts 2, there was this thing called the Garden of Assemblage in the Cavern of Remembrance, where you could go fight much more powerful end boss level versions of the organization members. That is what this is. It's so that you can go and fight them as much as you want. And for the record, this is some of the greatest gameplay of all time. I fucking love it. I loved it in Kingdom Hearts 2, and in Kingdom Hearts 3, it might arguably be better. In some ways, it is better. It's unbelievable how fucking good some of these fights are. And they Kingdom Hearts 3 base had some kind of shitty gameplay. They fixed a lot of it with patches and adding new moves and stuff, with Remind and whatnot. Okay, so anyway, they're super bosses. So you fight them all and you beat them all, including Xion and Master Xehanort and all the other guys that are there. So what happens at the end of that? Did we find out any useful information from doing this? No. Afterward, you say, all the Final Fantasy characters are gathered around, helping Riku hack the mainframe. Sid, by the way, from FF7, is the one doing all this stuff. It did nothing. It did nothing. However, coincidentally, after you just did all that, by the way, it took me 20 hours to beat the game, skipping all the cutscenes, because fuck the cutscenes on my second playthrough to play the DLC. It took me 50 hours to beat all the bosses. I'm not very good at video games, but I just keep trucking on critical mode or whatever. So 50 hours of gameplay, and what is the narrative result of all that? Literally nothing. And then, coincidentally, the fairy godmother from fucking Cinderella appears next to you and says, I have an update to the plot. It had nothing to do with what you were just doing. We are now proceeding to the next events of the lore as to how we save Sora. Why did he write it this way? Why could my actions not have some impact on what they had literally zero impact. 50 hours of my life. Okay, well, that's just the kind of writing you get from my man Nomura. What were they thinking? There we go.
When you...
You don't hear me say, please. Oh, baby, don't go. All right. What were we saying? Right, we were talking about what a hack Nomura is. No, we were talking about moving the plot forward. Okay, what the fairy godmother says at this point, because she just appears and tells you what to do next. So remember that extra episode we saw, that extra video we saw of Sora waking up in a skyscraper-filled area, and Riku was there too, and that guy Yozora was looking down on him, and the Master of Masters might have been there, or some other character. So she's like, she canonically explains what that scene was. She's like, hey Riku, I've been like jacking your brain or something. You've been having some weird dreams lately, huh? I know what that is. That's you like seeing where Sora is. There's information there. I'm a dream person, I'm a fairy. This is what I do. This is my profession. So she just knows that that's useful for you. All right, so, and she also tells you that there are two other pieces to this puzzle because she just knows that somehow. And they are within Kairi. So Kairi is asleep right now, being analyzed in her memories to see if there is, again, more lore about like where Sora is. For some reason, they've decided analyzing Kairi's memories would be useful. Maybe because she was the one who was saved through the power of waking and stuff. Not the worst idea in the world. And then there's a second hint in, and we just cut to the final world, the death world. And by the way, the final world is populated by what appear to be dead souls that are represented as like these transparent star people. Rich.
Souls?
Yes, souls, not hearts. We're like pretty sure about this, that now we're in soul territory. In the final world, I think you have lost your heart, but your soul remains. Don't quote me on that specifically, but it's something like that. The final world is where you go when you die, and then if you like proceed from there, I think your existence is like obliterated or reincarnated, Buddhism style, something like that. Okay, so now that's how that ends. The limit cut episode. We proceed to the final piece, which is the secret episode. What happens in the secret episode? We cut to Sora. Sora is walking around in the final world, seeming to confirm that, like, okay, Sora is dead or almost dead. He is back where he was when he died that time before, during the big darkness tornado. So Sora meets an interesting figure there. Who should he encounter in like a starry area of the final world but Yozora again, the man from a video game. He actually meets him, and they proceed to have a boss fight. A secret boss fight, the ultimate boss fight that is one of the most awesome boss fights of all fucking time that sort of made every pain of playing this fucking series worth it. If you were to skip every cutscene, of course. So it's just a great fight, whatever. I recommend playing it, it's fantastic. But it concludes thusly. Either you win or you lose. It actually has two different cutscenes if you win or you lose. You can retry after your first death or whatever, but it'll play a cutscene where either Yozora, if you beat him, says, I am not needed here. I'm here to save someone. He says, I'm here to save someone, and he says the name Sora, which might imply he's looking for someone else named Sora, because he says that Sora doesn't look like the Sora he was looking for, but he does also say that Sora is famous in my world, and he's a video game character from another universe. He might be implying that Sora is a video game character in his universe. A little unclear there, so something's going on with that. And anyway, he leaves and says, like, I'm returning to my home planet. I'm not needed here right now. Whatever. He's here to save someone. He doesn't really clarify. and if you lose, he like traps Sora in. Sora like dies, turns to crystal or something, and then I think leaves as well, and is like, I'm going to save you, Sora. Little unclear what this means. What's clear about this is he's here to save someone. It seems like their name is Sora. We don't really know, and he has unclear motivations. Okay, what does this all mean? Here's the deal. Here's the big brain takeaway about what's going on with all this stuff right here. So we already know that Verum Rex, the game and the world seemingly that Yozora is from, is a fictional world in Kingdom Hearts. So how is Sora meeting him? What's going on there? Well, we're about to learn. In fact, I don't want to totally... In Melody of Memory, this is a little more clarified. In fact, should I just wait to say that part? Yes, but I will tell you one more thing, which is that in that battle where you fight Yozora, it is your world transforms into like this big skyscraper world. It is clearly the same world that Riku was dreaming about. And interestingly, you can see at a bare minimum this building with a 104 on top of the building. And it looks familiar because that 104 building is clearly a building from the game series The World Ends With You, which is another Square Enix property it takes place basically in the real world of Shibuya. In the real world, it's the 109 building. In TWEWY, it's the 104 building. Because 4 means death in Japanese, and it's about Reaper game stuff, yeah. So, there appears to be some universe crossing going on. You already met the TWEWY cast in Dream Drop Distance, but those characters they were playing a death game, and dreams and death are said to be intertwined. So death, dreams, other worlds, they seem to be crossing over here. Something's going on. We'll get back to that a little bit more in Melody of Memory after we take a quick pit stop at this game, Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. But first, what do we say? When you walk away, you don't hear me say, please, oh baby, don't go. All right. I'm glad we're so engaged. Dark Road, what's going on?
Jonas never sang that.
All right, so here's the deal about Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. Kingdom Hearts Dark Road is the same game as Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. It just got an update. Remember, it was Unchained Key. It was Key, Kingdom Hearts Key. Then it became a mobile game. It was Unchained Key. Then it got renamed Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. Now the game is yet again called Kingdom Hearts Union Cross Dark Road. And Dark Road is like a separate story path within the game. Okay, so what happens in Dark Road is it is simply a story of young Xehanort when he first left his island, Destiny Islands, coincidentally where Sora is from. What a coincidence. And traveled, because we talked about young Xehanort lived in Scala ad Caelum, where he played chess with that guy, and they became Keyblade Masters together. Okay, cool. But we know that he was from Destiny Islands originally. So this is the story of like how he got there and how he got Darknessed. Now the thing about it is, it totally sucks, and it's not cool, and it's bad, and you shouldn't play it because it's not good, and it is supposed to be done. It was supposed to be complete as of this. They said winter, like in 2021, so it's supposed to be done. But apparently due to delays, they just keep delaying the end of the story. But the good news is nothing important happens in it other than he's like training with other Keyblade wielders in like shitty mobile game cutscenes, and they like all die, and him and Master Ericus are like the two that are surviving. And something about the darkness is spreading and it's consuming Scala ad Caelum. Who cares? There's apparently going to be one final update because the game is said it's done, but they've got one more cutscene or update to come. Who knows when it's coming? It's effectively done, and none of it matters at all. But maybe the final cutscene will do something big, because the final cutscene that did release of Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, or rather Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, was a bit of a game changer, and we're going to get to that in one moment after we first just address Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, a rhythm game that came out for many platforms that also contains incredibly vital lore about what is about to happen in the later Kingdom Hearts games.
This is so awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's just off the chain, off the key chain.
The key chain.
Off the
key chain.
Off the key chain. I still remember when this Keyblade didn't have a key. Retcons. I can't get into this now. This Keyblade's not supposed to have a chain. All right, moving on. But it does. Now, if we could, I'd like to just take a moment to address what is this picture and what does it mean? I think everyone's been dying to know. All right, let me tell you why I have chosen this picture to represent this. This is the encapsulation of everything wrong with Nomura's writing style, which is that this is a moment. All right, what's happening here? Is this Sora? This is Sora. Yeah. I don't know why he put this in there. This is Sora saying, you're gonna be recompleted. All right. Now, just to take a moment, step back. In Kingdom Hearts 2, Sora, as we covered before, Sora is a murderous monster man who is killing a lot of organization members. And look, it was never totally clarified what happened to them. It was clearly implied he's just killing them. And there was enough plausible deniability for Nomura to not have to get into it, to establish, oh, they're actually fine. Okay, whatever. Something serious was happening, and Sora had the will to at least potentially kill people. He hit them with his Keyblade, and they fucking died, or something close to it. And that takes... You know, like they're bad guys. It's the right thing to do. They're murderers. They're trying to kill you and your friends. That's like respectable. It's kind of, you know, good. And Sora, when he kills Demyx, the first organization member that he slays in Kingdom Hearts 2, he goes, anyone from the organization who'd like to be next? And it's badass. It's pretty cool. And it makes sense. It's human. He's fighting to the fucking death. It's not a joke, you know? All right, what's going on here is the fucking opposite. This is right after he defeats Larzine, one of the new organization members, Organization XIII members, and after beating the shit out of her and kicking her while she's down and killing her, instead of saying some shit like, yeah, and I'll kill you again, bitch, come at me one more time, I'll kill you and anyone else trying to kill me or my people, justified self-defense, you know, shit like that, he just smiles and goes, you're gonna be recompleted. He just beat her to death and is talking about how excited he is for her, that his murderous actions have resulted in the positive outcome. And how did we get here? It's because Nomura activated his trap card to say that, you know, it didn't used to be like this, but now, if you kill a Heartless or a Nobody at any time, anywhere, even though that is a hard retcon to stuff that he said in interviews and clarified before, and was like in the games at various places, it's like, nope, no one will ever die. It's all gonna be fine. When I kill you and beat you, thank me for it. I'm actually helping you, because when you kill a Nobody and they're Heartless, they will return to their somebody. Oh, won't that be great? They'll have a heart again. Even though they would have regrown a heart, like after a little while. Do they want to be their same person? Maybe they want to be a Nobody again. Doesn't matter. Anyway, this face is emblematic of Nomura's writing style. Smug, saccharine, undermining of previously decent lore, and everything wrong with how this series has gone forward. All right, there you go, question answered. Now moving on, it's time to get to the Melody of Memory. Yes, okay, before we get to the end of the Union Cross nightmare. So, there it is right there, Union Cross and Dark Road. So, Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, as we said, is a rhythm game where you are exploring, like we talked about, Kairi is in a coma or she's like asleep or whatever, and the scientists around her, including former organization members who are now good guys for some reason, they are helping her explore her memories to look for clues about where Sora could be, what the power of waking did with him, any of that stuff, right? So the whole game is a waste of time because you just revisit old worlds. It's an excuse to like play old music. You know, you kind of get it. At least Kairi gives like a little commentary like, this is where me and Sora did this. Maybe there's a thing of him here. Here's where me and Sora did this. Da, 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 da. Okay, it makes sense to a degree. It's kind of justified. Not the worst, you know, idea in the world. However, once you get to the end, finally new things happen. And as she's just exploring her memories, Kairi eventually just stumbles upon a memory version of the old Master Xehanort, the guy you just killed at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 and flew away with his good buddy Master Ericus. He tries to kill Kairi. Kairi summons the will of Sora, who like isn't here, but he like is sort of in her, and he defeats Master Xehanort for her. Because again, this is a strong Keyblade fighter, Kairi. She needs Sora to save her. She can't do anything on her own. Nomura refuses to let her have any agency in the plot, which I would prefer at this point. But anyway, and after this, Master Xehanort drops a clue. He drops a clue, which is something about, let me see, where is it? Something about, yes, here we go. About how the answer may not lie with light. It may not lie with darkness, but somewhere on the other side. What does that mean? Let's find out. So at this point, Kairi wakes up, and she tells that clue to people, and she tells Ansem, not Ansem Seeker of Darkness, but Ansem the Wise, the real Ansem that we meet in Kingdom Hearts 2, and him and the science boys that used to be in the organization say, we think we know what Master Xehanort meant by that, because there's this other thing that conveniently we've never talked about until this point, but it's super important to the lore now. And here it is. It's that, not light, not darkness, but the other side. What does that mean? Death? Maybe. But there's something else. There's something called unreality or fiction. Fiction is, there's like light and darkness, and they exist on like this side of like the universal plane, but they're divided into two worlds. But on the other side is fiction, because it's just different like that, and it just is there. And we're now learning that that's a thing. And who do we know who is fictional? Yozora from Verum Rex, which is a fictional story in the world of Kingdom Hearts. So something is going on there. We've seen Sora with Yozora. What's that mean? It means he's probably just there. He's probably wherever Yozora is from, and they're talking about it. They talk about a place called Quadratum, which appears to be the name of the world that Yozora is from. And we've also met people possibly from the other side before, in Dream Drop Distance, in the World Ends With You crew, Neku and the gang. They're like the border of life and death. Apparently the border of life and death is the place where you can theoretically cross into this like unreality universe or something. All right, fair enough. Would kind of make sense because Neku and his boys are in a Death Reaper game, so whatever, they're in the proximity. Fair enough. The fairy godmother who showed up at the end in the nightmarishly horrible agency robbing limit cut episode, she shows up again and she says, "Okay, guys, good hints, good clues. We already know that Riku's dream, he saw Sora in what appears to be this place called Quadratum. You should go and talk to, and now we have this clue about Kairi, you should go to the final world and talk to this one star, which is one of like the souls from death or whatever. Talk to her and she will give you more information." So everyone piles into the Mini Cooper and heads on out to the final world, and they find a star lady and they talk to her, and the star says, "Hey, I am actually a dead person or something from the other world. I'm from a place called Quadratum." I think this is where Quadratum is first, clarified specifically as the name of a place. And apparently, through this dead person who's from that other world, you can use the power of waking, which Riku also has, which he got in Dream Drop Distance. I'm pretty sure about that. Yeah. And they open her up and they turn her into a portal. She's fine, but they open a portal using her somehow. Whatever. And Riku now can go to the other world and hopefully find Sora on the other side. By the way, hilariously, Kairi is there. She's a Keyblade wielder. At last it's time for Kairi to go and help do something actively. Riku says, "Nope, you're not ready for this, Kairi. Go train for another dozen more years. Maybe you'll get to do something in the next game." I could not fucking believe that at this point they're still not letting Kairi do anything, and she's gonna go like train with Aqua. Aqua, by the way, the biggest jobber in the series, loses every fight she's engaged in. She's gonna learn from the best how to lose with style. Deeply, deeply concerning.
Like every woman in this series.
They don't do great in the series. It's true.
That's how.
I guess Larzina's okay. She's just whatever. All right, anyway.
It's all just a game about Nomura's ex-wife.
I have now one last thing about Quadratum, and we'll talk about this at the end when we get to like the Kingdom Hearts 4 potential future stuff. But the thing is, what does Quadratum mean? What is Quadratum? Quadratum just means square. So, isn't it interesting that in the world of Kingdom Hearts, a Square Enix property, or Squaresoft, now Square Enix, whatever, there's a world called Quadratum, aka Square, and by going into that world, you can travel to another Square Enix property. Could this possibly be foreshadowing that maybe more than just, either it's one world of Quadratum that's like, we already know that there's this Verum Rex thing, and there's the TWEWY connection, the World Ends With You connection. Will there be more Square Enix stuff to explore? Will we get to see... Where did I write that? Something about the Nomuraverse. Oh yeah, there it is. Will we explore the Nomuraverse? Is that possible? And on the subject of the Nomuraverse, I have to break down the one big piece of lore that remains that's not directly relevant to like what may or may not happen in Kingdom Hearts 4 or whatever with this, but about Verum Rex. So the thing about Verum Rex and Yozora. All right, Yozora and Verum Rex, what do these words mean? What do these games and character titles mean? Now, Yozora means in Japanese, night sky. Interesting, okay. And Verum Rex means true king. Okay. And also, there's a cutscene at the end of, it's actually at the end of Remind that I didn't mention before that I will now explain. The cutscene that happens when you win or lose that fight against, I think you have to win, whatever. When, as Sora, you beat the final boss of Remind, you beat Yozora, a cutscene plays that looks oddly familiar. Why does it look oddly familiar? Because it is a shot-for-shot recreation of one of the Final Fantasy Versus 13 trailers that came out for Versus 13 like over a decade ago. Now, what is Final Fantasy Versus 13? Final Fantasy Versus 13 is a canceled game that Nomura worked on a long time ago that was repackaged and turned into Final Fantasy 15. It was given to Hajime Tabata, and Nomura was taken off the project to work on other stuff, including Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, again, Verum Rex means true king. Yozora means night sky. The main character of Final Fantasy 15 is a prince who becomes a king. His name, Noctis Calum, also means night sky. And our character's game is called, again, True King. It does not seem subtle here that Nomura is, again, he recreated the trailer shot for shot with his character replacing what Noctis did in the other cutscene. Yes, it's starting to fall into place here. Is it possible that having been robbed of like the creative control of Versus 13, Nomura has decided to make a Kingdom Hearts sub-story, a sub-world that just is him telling the same story that he intended to all along? This appears to be where the story is going right now, and Sora has already gotten involved with this character and is in his world.
Sign me up for it, man.
Now, that is unironically,
like it's gonna be great.
Kind of based that Nomura would do that, and just he's real. Like again, True King is the name. He's just saying, "Fuck you!
That's the
you
end
took
game of
my
this whole
game.
thing. Yep.
This was all just to get to this point, so I can make the actual game I wanted all along. That was taken away from me.
Jesus.
This is actually happening in the lore of Kingdom Hearts. It is absolutely bizarre, but that's where we're at. It's fascinating." That's just like a meta thing that doesn't even need to be relevant to anything Sora is doing. Remember when this was Sora's story about finding his best friends? We've really come a long way.
Not anymore, no.
Not anymore. Okay, so now you know everything about all that stuff. Fascinating, right? Okay.
That's crazy.
Holy shit.
We're arriving at the end game, the final pieces of stuff that we know, and the most recent updates. Which brings us to the ending movie that came out. It was like a half-an-hour video, the final cutscene of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross and the whole mobile game saga. Again, Dark Road is not technically complete yet, but frankly, that plot went nowhere fast. It was just how Skalamad Kalum and the Keyblade wielders that live there like all died and only like 2 guys were left. It doesn't really matter that much. They just died somehow. Whatever. Darkness got them. Many such cases. All right, so it's happening is over. We're in future. Right, that's where we're at now. So, excuse me. In the final episode, a couple of things happened. So, the darkness was just shitting things up, and this is where the world ended again. So this is the second end of the world. I don't even pretend to know every detail of why that happened or who's involved in all of these things. Darkness is fucking the place up once again. Things are out of balance. Those 13 darkness entities I mentioned a while before that are like the physical embodiment of darkness, they're doing something. They're causing problems. The Master of Masters appears to be like trying to stop them, but actually he might want them to succeed so that later he can defeat them. The Master of Masters is working some 4D chess shit going on here. We don't know. We still have not seen what's in the box. Will we see them in Kingdom Hearts 4? I don't know. Oh, and I forgot one very important piece of lore about the whole unreality stuff of Quadratum and being outside of time. When in Melody of Memory, they say that, that this other world exists, light and darkness, but then there's this outside thing, unreality or fiction. They also say, I once heard a story about some ancient Keyblade masters who traveled to the realm of Unreality and like survived there and were there for a long time, and maybe one day they'll show up again in a plot-relevant way. So remember how those foretellers from the end of Remind just appeared with Lushu with the box, and they just appeared again to apparently do something, again, plot relevant. It is clearly implied that they were just in that Unreality world. Maybe literally Verum Rex, where like TWEWY and Yozora are. We just don't know, but the future lore is all about the mobile game. That stuff is what's happening, so we will see more of that as time goes on. Okay, now again, about the end of Union Cross itself. Here is what happens. At the end of the game, in the final battle, those 13 embodiments of darkness, they take over your body. You fight your friend EPHEMER, who was that guy I mentioned before, who was like the leader of the Dandelions and the leader of he led the big Keyblade charge back from the dead or whatever. Excuse me. You're hurt by EPHEMER, but the darknesses, they kill you, and you fucking die. Stop! Whoa, it's me, the heart of BGE, canonically able to travel through time by leaving my body and soul behind. Wow, that's great lore. Yeah, I had to actually come in to say something about this because I'm definitely wrong about the lore. So let me set the record straight with the power of future foresight, just like the Master of Masters. Wow, I'm good at this. So to be clear, what's going on in Union Cross is that the entire world was destroyed after the Keyblade War, and the whole game is spent, you still do your little adventures like in the first game, it is spent in a datascape. You're in a data version of the world that used to exist. So you're not in the real world. So what happens at the end of the game is that the data world is gonna fucking explode and die, and everyone's gonna be killed who's inside of it, which is all of you and your friends. But the Master of Masters made like a couple of super magic pods that'll get your ass out of there, and your friends, the Union leaders, take those and ride it on out of there, and furthermore use them to ride into the future, where all the characters get dropped off in the future. That's how, like, Lorium, who's Marluxia's somebody who's from back in the day, gets to the future, and Elrena, which is Larzine's, and Ventus, and presumably Skald, the deliberately mysterious girl, and EPHEMER, our based boy. But tragically, you, the player character, are not able to, and you stay inside the datascape, and it shuts down, and you die inside there, and that's how you die, and isn't that sad? Both the data world where your character was and the real world outside of it that everybody else escaped to, they're both exploding and going to hell. Damn it, Darkness, you've done it again. Because, like, Darkness was in there and is trying to get you. Oh, my God, Darkness is fucking everything up. Yeah, the point is you got to lock it in there with you. You stay in, you're like a self-sacrifice type individual, and you fucking die with the rest of the world. And that's how you die. There you go. Back to the future I go. You, the player avatar that is you in the game, all those names that appeared on the board when it destroyed the big darkness thing, you fucking die. And you go to a floaty afterworld, and you are given the option to either like sleep or to basically just die for real and be reincarnated the way everybody dies. And you will come back to life in some kind of reincarnation way. And then it's time for the final Omega meme that this has all been leading up to, okay? Now, I just want to direct your attention once again to the fact that everyone in this story is Sora. There's an infinite number of Soras, basically. And also, well, everyone else is Xehanort. Now, in Dream Drop Distance, they almost became the same guy. It was this close. That was the point of that, to get Sora to become a Xehanort, thus uniting everyone in the game. We almost got there. However, at the end of this cutscene in this fucking mobile game that has nothing to do with the stuff I actually care about in the series, we are informed that when you, the player character, die in that game, after the second fucking end of the world or whatever, you are reincarnated, and we see the events of this person who you are reincarnated as. Whose life do you get reincarnated as from this time of antiquity? He's weird. He's got white hair. He's got yellow eyes. He's got darker skin. He looks like a spooky boy. What? He's going to Scala Ad Calum to train with the Keyblade? Yes. You, the player, are Master Xehanort yourself. It was you all along, thus making everyone in this game either Sora or Xehanort or you, who is Every one of these characters, you are Sora. It is the player avatar. Sora is Xehanort. You were reincarnated as that guy. Every character in the game is the same man. You are all the same character. And that's the end of it. That's what we learn at the end of the story. Every character is the same person. Sora, Xehanort, you, same guy. That's the game. Are you shocked? Are you impressed? You seem intimidated.
Darkness is light. Light is darkness.
It
feels like.
It's quite a mind job. It's quite a mind job. All right. So with that being said, the events of Xehanort's life play out. Rich, yes?
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking? We just don't know. We just don't. There was no need for this. There was absolutely nothing in the lore that made Xehanort have to be anyone other than himself. But you, Sora is your player avatar. You are Sora. That's how it is. You are literally the player of the game. Xehanort just is that same person. They're all the same person all along. What Dream Drop Distance failed to do, Union Cross managed to complete in a fucking mobile game. Great. Thank you.
How is it revealed that Xehanort is you? I feel a little bit hesitant about even breaking into this pile of shit.
But I told you. Okay, so this is clearly laid out in a cutscene. When you are dying after the second apocalypse or whatever.
What do you mean you? Who's
sorry.
dying?
In Union Cross, you play as a player avatar that is just you. You, the player, are your Keyblade wielder player avatar.
Meaning what? You like customize the character or something?
Yes. You name them. I mean, you know,
okay.
name them
So
yourself.
It's a create your own character.
Yes,
and then
that's
that
right.
character that you create turns out to be Xehanort.
That is correct. They die and reincarnate as Xehanort. It is them. They are the same person. They are the same soul. It just continues on after the cycle of reincarnation happens. So they're the same guy. So the links are there. The links are all there. Rich, yes.
So that would mean that everybody that fought the giant tornado of darkness.
Now you're thinking. They are all Xehanort. Every single person there who fought that thing are all independently Xehanort, yes. So Xehanort defeated himself the whole time. Sora is Xehanort also, via us, the player character. The player avatars are one and the same. It's all the same man. Sora was just the first one. He is the series. He is the representative of every character, of the meaning of the story. And he also represents friendship being tied to every other character, so I think it works.
So, like, there's some random parts in Kingdom Hearts 2, I'm sure you know more about this, where, like, you occasionally go into drive form or something, and then you play as Mickey.
That's not drive form. Oh, okay, yeah. I see what
is
you're saying.
Mickey also?
I'm only making this argument
Xehanort?
for Sora specifically. I'm aware there are other characters that you play as. I'm only saying it about Sora because he is the player avatar. Just what else defines Sora? There is nothing defined about Sora other than he has two specific friends. He lives on this island. You never meet his mom. To me, I think that's more than enough to make the case.
You never meet his mom. That's the argument.
You hear her yelling from downstairs one time, and you never witness her.
When are we going to get the lore behind Sora's mom?
A lot of people.
She
might be in the box.
She's in the box.
A lot of people have been waiting to meet Sora's mom. Because again, one auditory line, we know she exists, but we have never seen her. Again, because it's supposed to be a projection story where you're just like, yeah, this is me and my friends hanging out on this island. You know.
I love that she's calling Sora down for dinner too, and it's like Sora just goes outside. And
how'd that work out?
To be fair, he was already gone out the window by the time we see her yelling. So I give Sora a pass on that one.
He was already playing video games.
That's true. That's true. Okay. And is there anything else to add to that? It's just that there's other bits of lore that, like, the person who is Lushu turns out to be one of the old Keyblade masters from Union Cross, or rather one of the new Union leaders. This guy named Brain, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. He's just some guy that is Lushu. I don't know why they thought that was a good reveal. Whatever, it's fine. Just some random guy. And anything else to say about that? Where did I put that? Oh, here we go. And also, through this time lapse, we just find that Scala ad Calum, the world that Master Xehanort became a Keyblade wielder in, we see a statue at the end of this cutscene. We see that it was founded by our boy EPHEMER, the guy who was the leader of the Union guys, the guy who wrangled all the Keyblade boys together to help you defeat the tornado from the past. He is like the founding Omega Keyblade Giga Chad who started all this stuff to train, all our Birth by Sleep guys and everybody. And because he survived the apocalypse through this pod of unspecified creation or purpose, that teleported him to the future with a couple other people. It's also possible that this girl Skuld, that is EPHEMER's friend, is the mom of Xehanort, just because she looks a lot like her. Whatever, we won't go into that. Skuld doesn't matter. She's got a stupid-ass name anyway. All right, now, what do we say? When you walk away, you don't hear me say, please, oh baby, don't go. Okay, we're down to our last two things. Three things, but they're short. Okay, so let's talk Kingdom Hearts 4, right? We've talked a lot of stuff about what to expect in the coming games. Will we go to Quadratum, Scotty?
Quick question
Yeah.
before that. So we have this new Unreality. Is there still light and darkness? Is that a component of Unreality as well?
Apparently, light and darkness exist in one realm of reality as two elemental forces of universe, metaverse A, or whatever it is. Yeah. And then just on the total other side is Unreality that we just don't know anything about.
Okay,
we just don't know. No light and darkness there, I guess, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe it functions exactly the same, but it's just on the other side. I don't know.
That's just where the games are going. They gotta get away from Disney. They're not part of Disney Plus.
That's a good question. Are they trying to get away from Disney? Is this the plan to take the series? It's hard to imagine Kingdom Hearts without Disney. Yeah. The Mickey symbol is sort of the icon of the entire series. Although also the crown in Smash Bros, the crown is used to represent them, which we'll talk about in a moment. So anyway, will they do that? We just don't know. I expect there to be more Disney because there has been literally the entire time. Sure. But again, we'll find out. We just don't know. Now, I did want to give Nomura one piece of helpful advice for his future games, which is that he made a terrible, terrible mistake. Because a little game came out recently called Neo TWEWY, which is basically The World Ends With You 2. Fantastic game. Everyone should play it. It is unbelievable how underappreciated that game is. Play that fucking game. It's probably better than the original TWEWY, and it's the only good game Square Enix has made in a million fucking years. More or less. Absolutely bizarre. Anyway, I think they don't like it because it's not AAA enough for them, but again, who knows? The point about that I'm trying to make is great game, cool super boss, cool great end game content. However, the terrible, terrible mistake was made. Sora is literally going to TWEWY World. This is what is happening in the lore of Kingdom Hearts. And yet Nomura did not take the opportunity to in any way have Sora appear as the Giga Omega Super, not boss or anything, but a cutscene at the end, just a little tease. There's none of that shit. I don't know, they didn't coordinate well enough. Maybe that they didn't plan to do it. But it was a big missed opportunity, and they should have done it. Also play Neo TWEWY. Great game. Okay, so what can you do? And as for when it will come, we have no idea. There was a leak, as I recall, of I think it was the de novo, however you pronounce that, their licensing software got hacked, or some release happened from those guys that released a huge list of video games that that company expects to be released. Some of them are placeholders. They haven't been told by the relevant companies that these games are definitely coming out. But yeah, so some of them are guesses. Kingdom Hearts 4 was on that list, I think just as called Kingdom Hearts 4. So that could imply it's right around the corner and Square Enix is getting them ready to connect software to it. Or again, they just guessed and they're just thinking ahead. So that doesn't mean anything. That's the best hint, which shows how little information there is about what's coming next in the series. So who knows? Who knows when we're going to see more? We can only sit and wait. There will probably be more spin-offs before some sort of Kingdom Hearts 4 proper actually happens. But there you go. On Sora's most recent journey into the world, speaking of traveling between games and Unreality, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate featured Sora as the new character, as the final DLC character that apparently they've been working on trying to make for a long time, and even has some Disney shit, such as the Mickey emblem in it, so pretty impressive they were able to do that. However, Goofy and Donald do not appear, and it actually it changes the design of the Dive to the Heart panels from Sora, so they cut out Donald and Goofy. They clearly were not allowed to do it. Too bad, but what can you do? And here's a fascinating fact that you need to know. So as we've talked about, Nomura loves him some 7 and 13, right? This is established at this point. Now, Sora is the final DLC character of the game. There will be no more. You could make an argument that Nomura, or that Sora is the 13th DLC character if you call Pyra and Mithra 2 separate characters. It's a bit of a stretch. I mean, can we really shit on Alex and Steve that way and not call them separate characters, let alone Enderman and Zombie? So maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but how do you like this one? This one's confirmed. The patch in which the Smash Bros. Was updated and Sora was released is patch number 13. Was this planned? Was this an intentional thing that Nomura made happen or not? We just don't know. Either way.
I think definitely yes.
I don't know. It seems like it probably was. Maybe they delayed him a little bit longer so it could match up. What if he'd been 12? Wouldn't that have been missed opportunity? I don't know. I'd like to think he did it.
If he's remaking Final Fantasy 15 in his name, he can get this patch number in. That's an option.
I think so.
This man has metaverse bending powers.
I'm getting Kojima vibes of just breaking his own metaverse at this point.
A little bit, yeah. If you want to have a hack-off battle between Nomura and Kojima, that's going to be a hell of a battle. And I don't know where I'd put my money. All right. So, in conclusion, let's wrap up in summary, because we've covered all the lore. That's it. You know everything there is to know about Kingdom Hearts lore right now, so you're ready for your graduate degrees. But let's do the final analysis of which of these fucking games are even worth playing. Which ones are worth your time? And there's some funny things. For example, the lore of Kingdom Hearts Coded was already arguably not even worth having at that time, because all that did was set up a couple of hints for Birth by Sleep. So now that we can all play Birth by Sleep, which is effectively Kingdom Hearts 0, why would anyone play that game unless you specifically want the gameplay of it? And the DS remake, Kingdom Hearts Recoded, is actually pretty good. So you might want to play it on that reason, but the lore is totally unnecessary. So, which ones to play? Very simple list of which games are worth playing. Kingdom Hearts 1 is a great game. It's worth playing. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. It began a little bit in Kingdom Hearts 1, but in Chain of Memories, things begin to go off the rails immediately. It was a GBA game. There's a PS2 remake that came out in 2007 or something. I would play that. I think it's worth playing. It's fun, and things haven't gone totally ballistic with the lore yet. And Kingdom Hearts 2, especially the final mix version, is the greatest game ever made. And it's a 10 out of 10. Love it deeply. Yes, the lore has already begun to be super fucked, but what can you do? It's not that bad. You can easily stomach much of the shitty stuff that already begins to creep in. Some of it's kind of important, like the fact that the worlds are really vacant. The 2-visit system to the worlds is a little monotonous.
Is that why they stopped doing level design in that game?
I think they stopped doing level design in the game because they just had a different philosophy, and they clearly focused so much more on combat that they just weren't even worried about it. They're the combat will carry us. Don't even worry about populating this supposedly busy, bustling, bizarre street in Agrabah with a single NPC. Just don't worry about it. It's fine, because these fucking combos are sick, nasty as shit, and they're right. They are fucking awesome. So as you can see, the fun zone. The fun zone is where we're in. Immediately beyond that, none of this is worth playing anymore. Coded, no. 358, no. Birth by Sleep, there are Birth by Sleep defenders. They're fucking idiots. Do not listen to them. Not good. Dream Drop Distance, no. Unchained, of course not the mobile games. Of course not. You don't want to play any of that. The Birth by Sleep fragmentary passage, why would you want to play a demo of Kingdom Hearts 3 now that Kingdom Hearts 3 exists? So no. Okay, now, and I'll just say Melody and Memory, do you like rhythm games? Fine, go ahead if you want to. Now, Kingdom Hearts 3 and Remind. Those games are worth playing. With an asterisk, you should skip every cutscene. The lore has been fucked for so long. For 13 years, it's just been undermining everything that was once good, and it's shit. However, 2 of the Disney worlds are actually kind of fun and good. The gameplay can be fun sporadically, but the dialogue is such a nightmare, and we have so fucked up everything that was once good about the characters and the lore, and it's all bad for the sake of undermining any good writing like we had in Kingdom Hearts 2, with even a slightest bit of a sour note or a negative outlook on stuff. We've just undone all that and made the big saccharine pizza party ending where everybody is happy and partying and whatever. And like the sad thing we were left with was like, oh, Sora's dead. Okay, the plot has immediately become, let's go save Sora right now. We already saved Kairi. That was like 2 seconds of worry about Kairi, and then we solved it. It was like a year before the DLC came out. But actually, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, we already see that she was saved by Sora. We just have to learn how in the DLC. So, okay, so you were, oh my god, is Sora dead? I don't think Sora's going to be dead. This is Kingdom Hearts. The Xehanort Saga is over as of Kingdom Hearts 3. But new sagas will begin. That has been made clear to us. We're in like the, I don't know, Union Cross or like Foreteller Saga right now. So isn't that fun? So, here's how you play Kingdom Hearts 3. Play 1, Chain of Memories, and 2, however you want. Kingdom Hearts 3 is on PC now. It is on PC. So, you know what you could do if you wanted to? You could get this game, and you could get a patch, or not a patch, but you could, actually there's lots of mods that are super fun to play, so that's fun too. But you could get a save file that skips the entire game and gets you to the DLC where you can fight the super bosses at the end. And I would highly, highly recommend you do that.
Can you include a link to that in the description, please?
I literally can, and I will, yes. Nice. I will find that so that you can play Kingdom Hearts 3. I wouldn't call it like the right way. You should, yeah, I guess you should slog through the whole game and have a miserable time getting there. But why do that when you can just get to the good part? The story is fucked. It's over. Who cares anymore about any of these characters? The stakes are empty. So that's how you should play that game. That's my recommendation. And just to clarify, the gameplay and the bosses and stuff of the Limit Cut episode, all the new organization members and Yozora are off the fucking chain awesome. Super cool, super great design to most of them. Some are a little boring, like Terranort. Others like Marluxia, who was the original Chain of Memories boss, are fucking awesome. And lots of new stuff coming, lots of fun, enjoyable stuff. Okay, there you go. That's the point. So there you go. So, in final review, which games are worth playing? 1, Chain of Memories, if you're into that sort of thing, card battle system that I enjoy. 2, and the end of 3, the gameplay stuff at the end, not the actual story, because it's terrible. That's what I would recommend you play. And do not explore the story of this game. It's not good. And after Kingdom Hearts 2, and it deliberately undermines what once was good. So that's too bad about that. And I think that's going to be it, everybody. Kingdom Hearts 4, I'm sure we'll deal with like the Foretellers and Quadratum. I'm excited to see what that happens. It honestly could be good. Now that we're out of the Xehanort bullshit, we're doing Square Enix worlds. Maybe. That sounds awesome. I would love to play that. Let's hope that it stays strong. All right, Rich, what were you asking?
Okay. If you had to delete one game, which game would have like the
That's the one that did the most damage to my most beloved game, Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay, all right.
Does that answer your question?
It was like what, like which one basically has the most retcon?
Dream Drop Distance is the game that the thing is though, like, okay, let's say we deleted that. It doesn't matter. Nomura will find a way to fuck up the story. He was on the warpath to save everyone who had any kind of negative, outcome or whatever. It was just what he was doing. There was no going back. So he would find a way. Without that, like, all of this stuff still does everything to ruin the story. So, Scotty, do you have a question?
Yeah, what are those?
Okay, let's take a moment here, run down the symbols. We can explain very quickly. All right, so these are all the symbols that I care about. There are more, but they're bullshit, and I don't care about them. But these are the good ones. All right, so boom, Disney stuff. All right, represents Disney stuff. There you go. Key represents Keyblades, as you'd imagine. There it is, keys. Hearts are fairly important to Kingdom Hearts. That's what that is. Crowns. Okay, now you may notice, again, this is Sora's symbol in Kingdom Hearts. This appears to sort of be a personal Sora symbol. Also, this crown shows up in a few places, like in Kingdom Hearts 2, when you complete like the super mega, Omega challenges at the end of the game. In Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Sora gets a literal crown on his head that looks just like this crown. And Nomura draws him with it sometimes in various art. It represents being a big Chad gameplay Sora man who, don't take no guff.
The once and future king.
The once and future king. Indeed he is.
True king.
That's why it's a Kingdom Hearts. All right, boom. This is the nobody symbol. This is like guys like Roxas, guys like, although Roxas may be an exception, the bodies and minds that have lost their soul, that turn into a dude. That's a nobody. That's what that symbol is. A keyhole. Keyholes were very important in the lore of Kingdom Hearts 1 specifically, and they were how you access the heart of a world to either protect it or make it vulnerable so that like hearts, darkness could infect it or something like that. That's what the bad guys are trying to do. This unnamed symbol is, here we got it right here. It is Roxas's like personal emblem that you may notice is very similar to the top part of the nobody symbol. Mm-hmm. Looks just like it. So it's Roxas's personal symbol that he's the best character, he's the best boy, he gets his own symbol because he's so cool. Rich.
Aren't Axel's chakrams kind of shaped like that too?
That's true, and a lot of the nobody weapons like those have like visual thematic connections to the nobody symbol. A lot of nobodies are like spiky. They have this kind of hole cut out of them, pointy curve to them. You'll see that a lot in any kind of nobody designs or nobody weapons or anything like that. And so Roxas, as a nobody, also has that. Boom. Heartless symbol, that's the Heartless. These guys are a big deal. You fight them. This is another unnamed symbol, one I'm quite fond of. So this symbol represents one character alone, which is Xion, who is that memory construct golem that was made from a replica in Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Now, we see this symbol rarely, but in like places that relate to Xion, and in 358 over 2 days, when she has a boss fight, she turns into this big, monstrous, corrupted-looking Sora suit of armor kind of thing, and right on the face, you see this symbol. And in Kingdom Hearts 3, if you defeat her, you get this item called the Breakthrough. It's got that symbol. It's a Xion symbol. As to what exactly it means, I don't know. It's things with Xion.
Yeah, it looks like Sora's symbol a lot. Like if you took the symbol and just flipped it over.
And you may really notice the holes cut out with the spikes, also very similar to like the nobody.
Yeah.
The Heartless is kind of different, but Roxas is similar. Of course, this is also pretty similar. So there are visual themes there. It's fun to make connections. These things are usually not an accident. And last but not least, is this, which is, it doesn't have a name. It is like the Chasers logo is what we still call it. It doesn't have a name, but it's Terra, Aqua, and Ven wore this symbol on like their belt buckles or on their clothes that represents like their Keyblade training order, it seems, before, they all split up and went to go do different stuff. That's that. And I'll just say two more. I didn't draw them because they're bullshit. There's these things called Dream Eaters that are just like these dream monsters that there's nightmares and dream eaters. Dream eaters are your friends in dream drop distance. When you hang out in La Dream, they like are your party members. They help you and whatever. And nightmares are just the Heartless equivalent that exist in the dreamscape as you are hunting, doing stuff for fun. I can't remember why you went to the dream world, but you did, and you fought them there. And I think that might be literally all of them. That's the Kingdom Key. That's the Oblivion. The best Keyblade ever designed.
Is that your favorite Keyblade?
It is my favorite Keyblade, without question. I like the Ends of the Earth too, but I prefer the Oblivion. So, in conclusion, what do we say? When you walk away, you don't hear me say, please, oh baby, don't go. Simple and clean is the way that you're making me feel tonight. Come on, you're not singing. It's hard to let it go.
You yelled at me for singing that before.
Yeah, you explicitly advised us against singing.
I changed my mind. All right, everybody, we're done. Thanks for watching. Let's see. I am the keeper of the Keyblade. It's been fun. I'll see you on the other side. Bye. Everyone say bye. Bye.
So long. Farewell.
ベストガイ君、起きなさい。It is I, 哲也野村様。 appearing to you now in a form your inferior Western mind can comprehend. I have come to tell you, your work is not yet done. There is hurt that remains, and a great wrong that must be righted. You must rise again and complete your task, bringing the true knowledge of Hikari, Yami, and Kingdom Hearts to your students and the people of this sekai. Now, tate, そして行け!
Woo! Yeah! Thank you, Nomura-sama. Seems like, with his power, I was able to rip my heart out, send it into the distant future using the power of retcon, the power of waking. As you can see, the body I'm inhabiting is old as fuck, busted ass, and on death's door. I have no friends around, and I'm also bitchless as well, so I guess I'm the real nobody after all. Aww. But it had to be done. There is a cosmic injustice that has to be fixed, and so I've had to travel to the future to fix the past. It's like some Chrono Trigger, Rube Goldberg type machine shit. That's what we're doing here. But to answer your question, have we traveled forward to Kingdom Hearts 103? No, this is Kingdom Hearts 102.1 Final Chapter Addendum ReCompleted. We will heal my regret, we will heal the hurt, and we will all do it through the grace of Nomura Sensei. But okay, what are we here to do? I'll tell you right now. We are going to make a couple of corrections, a couple of addendums, talk about the current state of the franchise, the games that are out or are coming out right now, and bring you up to speed with the world of Kingdom Hearts as it exists in 2025. Because since the distant past when we spoke last time, when my friends were still alive, tragically they're all dead now, this man was cooking, all right? This guy was coming up with some secrets and some bullshit and some nonsense, as he does. But I'm onto his tricks now, okay? I've been able to see through the veil, and now I have full understanding of everything that this man has planned for us in the present and in the future. I'm the real foreteller after all, okay? Which is why I know that he's got secrets. He's got secrets hiding right here. Let's take a look, shall we? Is there a secret right here? There's no secret there. Okay, what else is Nomura hiding from us? Could there be a secret over here? Hang on. Please explain the nature of the world to us, Nomura. Okay. I've got a good feeling that perhaps there's a secret right here. There it is. There it is. Okay, that's what I thought. The fundamental axis of the world revolves around darkness. And is there anything else? Are there any other concepts that have to be addressed? How about this one right here? Light and darkness, the nature of the beast that is Nomura. This is what we're here to cover in its thoroughness, with everything we know in the universe today. And those projects that we must discuss are Kingdom Hearts 4, which was finally announced, alongside Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, and finally we must talk a little bit about the conclusion of Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. Let's begin there. So obviously the mobile games are totally shit, and no one should ever play them, okay? But Dark Road did complete since we last spoke. The story is over, okay? It's wrapped up, and there were some big developments that happened in there. So I'm going to quickly review the story of Kingdom Hearts Dark Road for you, if you don't mind, okay? Here's basically what happens in Dark Road. So Dark Road was a separate, but like in the same app game as Union Cross and the other mobile games. It's its own story, it's like its own little continuity, happens after Union Cross, all that stuff. And basically it's about Xehanort as a young man, like becoming a Keyblade guy in the first place, like starting his journey, learning about darkness and shit, and living in Scala ad Caelum, as we see like at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3 and in other places, you know, with Ericus and those other fun Keyblade boys. So at the end of Union Cross, as well as the beginning of Dark Road, we saw Xehanort as a baby, right? Being given by a lady that looked a lot like Skuld, who was one of the Union leaders from Union Cross and stuff, friend of EPHEMER, our boy, being given to a blue-haired individual, right? Now, as we all know, Xehanort is you, right? This was clearly implied by the ending of Union Cross, and nobody disputes that. That's, now, some of my larger theories you could dispute, here and there. I'm just a scientist doing some stuff, trying to figure things out, but Xehanort's you, right? Fascinating stuff, mobile game. Let's continue. So Xehanort leaves Destiny Islands. Presumably, like the baby, Xehanort was taken there by the blue-robed dude and was raised on Destiny Islands, it seems. And the reason he left, of course, is because he was visited by his own time-traveling heart, right? Like at the start of Kingdom Hearts 1, Ansem's heart comes to visit Sora or Riku or whatever, Destiny Islands. Yeah, his time-traveling heart, we all know the time-traveling lore, leave your body and soul behind, just send your heart through time, just like me for real. He goes back in time and talks to himself to get his younger self to, like, hop in a portal, go to Scala Ad Calum, and basically have the plot of the entire series happen. Xehanort's basically Biff from Back to the Future 2 here. He's going back, getting himself going on a journey, and having a great time. Epic reference, Nomura. Nicely done. So this game is basically just the story of Xehanort with his Keyblade student buddies goofing around in Scala Ad Calum, learning about Keyblades, learning about their bodies, learning to be best friends. It's great. It's wonderful. Love all of that. And in case I forgot to mention it before, I forget if I said this before, but EPHEMER was revealed at the end of Union Cross to be the founder of Scala Ad Calum. And, it just really reminds me of how much I like EPHEMER. Because, I was a mobile game cuck. I played Union Cross for years, and that game sucked ass. I mean, they're all terrible, okay? Don't play any of these. Obviously, they're all like, gacha is like too kind of a word for it. I don't know. They're just like shitty, idle, come back, pay money mobile games. I mean, they're terrible, all right? You should never play them, obviously. But the one thing that I have a positive association with from any of the mobile games, Unchained Key in my case, was EPHEMER the character. Because the story's a total slog. Like every mission, like nothing happens 1,000 times in a row. But then eventually you meet EPHEMER in Union Cross, and he's the first guy that's both nice to you and is like actually moving the plot along. I just feel such a bountiful love for Ephemera, as he's called in Japanese. Kind of sounds better. Whatever, doesn't matter. And I want the best for him, and he founded Scala Ad Calum. He's like the hero of the city. He's the best boy. We love that guy. He's so cool. He survived the destruction of Daybreak Town, built a new city right on top of it, because he's so fucking badass. EPHEMER is my hero, and I love him. And I was just thinking about how he's like the one positive thing that I took out of playing the mobile game. So, thank you, EPHEMERA. Anyway, so in Dark Road, which has nothing to do with any of that, is it good? No. Is it maybe slightly better than the other two, Unchained Key and Union Cross? Well, I mean, the characters look a little bit better. I feel like a little bit more effort was put into them, and we're seeing sort of more of like the tribe of dudes that like Terra, Aqua, and Ven came from. They've all got the little like chaser, whatever, Master Ericus emblem thing on them. They have a little more personality to them, There's like there's a batch of episodes that the show takes place in, and it's like kind of okay. It's got a whole Nordic theme. I think that's the right word, right? Like Norse stuff. Norse theme? Yeah, that's what it is. Their master is Odin, so Xehanort and Ericus were taught by a guy named Odin. Makes sense. Get it? Anyway, so like the story goes along, and like a lot of characters die. Like all your friends die in that game. They all get murdered. It's pretty grim, honestly. But of course, it's the same basic plot as always. Like, there's some darkness that's doing stuff. Is it those 13 darknesses? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? But it like infects one of the dudes, one of your boys, this guy named Balder, after I think his sister gets murdered. Whose name I don't care to remember. Yeah, her getting murdered, like, drives Balder crazy, and he's like, oh, I'm so mad my sister died, the world's all fucked up, I gotta destroy the world, that kind of shtick. And so he tries it, and you and Erica, so he like kills like all your friends, like they all die. Not everybody there. Master Odin's alive, probably some of the other students are alive still, but it's basically of your crew, it's just Xehanort and Ericus that live. So maybe this is why, like, what was it called? The World of Departure? Where the fuck did Terra Aqua, like, what was that called? It wasn't Scala Ad Calum. Maybe that's why it's like so empty, because they like all got murdered. I don't know, who cares? But there's also some lore here that's like, so that guy, Balder, was like, haha, darkness powers have told me that if I kill 13 lights, like you and your boys, that'll like summon Kingdom Hearts and I can destroy the world. when was this established? I thought the way that you got Kingdom Hearts was you have 13 darknesses fight 7 lights. Where is this murdering 13 lights thing coming from? They just made it up. It's just 13 shit, okay? 13 shit. In fact, let me add that to the board. This is obviously a core part of the Nomura lifestyle. 13 things. 13. This number just resonates in Nomura's soul, so, put some respect on it. Anyway, so Baldur's like being a bad guy, and so Xehanort fucking kills him. He murders him with his Keyblade, and it's hilarious. He just deceased. This does happen from time to time in Kingdom Hearts, but I feel like Dark Road is like particularly vicious. I think because it's like a mobile game, they know that like normal people aren't going to be playing it. Absolutely true. It's going to be like the obsessed weirdos, which, I mean, it would have been me if they hadn't lost me with like how uninteresting all of this is and how horrible the gameplay is. But they're like, oh, it's just like the edgy Kingdom Hearts 2 people that are still playing this shit. We can just kill everyone and nobody will care. And they're right. Nobody does care. But I guess this is like Xehanort like killed a man, so he's like starting his path down to darkness or something. I guess that's like the gist. In some interviews or whatever, they were like, so Nomura, like, when are you gonna explain that Xehanort like is going dark? And he literally says like, I think I've done a fine job of that already. Like, they're asking when it's gonna happen. He's like, it already happened. It literally already happened. Darkness was there all along. It's not good. But whatever. It was a seed. Okay, it's a seed. He's gonna be a bad guy. Okay, that's fine. And also, Luciu is still hanging around possessing people, as one does. And he's now possessed this guy named Bragi, whose name is very similar to another character that he would possess in the future. Pause. Did Luciu possess Braig before or after he got Norded? Like, it's got to be before, right? Because he, like, wanted the Keyblade really bad. Okay, I guess that's the answer. Okay, moving on. So, a couple of extra lore pieces that are revealed in Dark Road. Okay, let me go over some interesting factoids with you real quick. Okay, so, one of the burning questions that's answered in Dark Road is, why is Master Xehanort bald? Okay, molding bros. Okay, brace yourself for impact here. Okay, all of us future cue balls are not gonna like this, okay? Because what Xehanort says, it's not that they said like some guys go bald, right? Some dudes go bald. No, that would never happen in Nomura's, Twinkverse. He's talking like the magic mirror or some shit, and the mirror's like, where's your hair gone? And he says, it's gone basically as a sign of resolve, for like his darkness quest or whatever. So he like either shaves it off, or like maybe like darkness makes your hair fall out. But the point is he's chosen to do it. It's like it's an intentional decision he's made to go bald. So bald bros, I don't feel so good. The shaming is tragic. Either way, the point of the story is that bald people are evil. Direct quote from Nomura. His words, not mine. Okay, so brace yourself for this bullshit, all right? So it's revealed in one of the many tedious cutscenes of Dark Road that, you know how in Birth by Sleep, Ventus was split into a light guy and a dark guy that became Vanitas, and you like fight each other, and Ventus' heart was like shattered and that he had to heal and go inside Sora, all that stuff, right? So in Dark Road, Xehanort just like drops some knowledge that, wait a minute, Vanitas, you are actually one of the ancient like 13 darknesses or whatever from Union Cross and shit. You are not native to Ventus's heart, are you? You're like a separate guy. And Vanitas is basically like, yeah, you got me, Chief. You got me. It's true. Darkness. And so what this reveals is that Ventus actually was a pure light individual all along, like a Princess of Heart, which are the only people we know that, actively have like full light bodies, full light hearts, whatever. So are you following what's going on here now? So the entire premise of Birth by Sleep about Ventus being used to make the Keyblade is like basically rendered invalid here. He was always a dude that like at birth or early on, or not at birth, but later on, had darkness joined with his heart. And then later when he gets sent to the future at the end of Union Cross and stuff, he gets split but just back into the guy that he was to begin with, and Vanitas, who's just like a manifestation of one of the darknesses. So why the fuck was his heart all fucked up and he had to heal inside Sora? The whole idea was that he was like a fractured partial heart now. I guess the most charitable read here is that like his soul had like bonded with the darkness. Although, I have to bring this up, like not a lot of time had passed since Ventus was a kid in Union Cross, got darkness attached to him, got sent to the future through the lifeboats or whatever, and then Xehanort found him, make him his apprentice, and then split his heart. So like he wasn't even like darkness for that long. So the point is, I guess what happened here is that he was a heart guy, darkness joined with him, and then later on in Birth by Sleep, as we see him being split by Xehanort, it just like fucked up his heart, because now he's both. Okay, fine. But what's the fucking point of any of this? I guess the idea is just to bring like the ancient darknesses to the future, but we're stepping on some landmines along the way. Very needlessly complex though, but add one to the retcon count, boys. Okay, but now it's time. Okay, it's time to talk about the thing which is why we're gathered here in the distant future of now to discuss in the first place. We've got to talk about the ending of Dark Road and its implications. So as we established in Union Cross, you, the player, are Xehanort, right? There was no need to debate. This was rock solid. This was crystal clear. This was the intention of the narrative. Well, we've got a little bit of an update to bring to you people about my hero, Nomura Sensei. And it is that he fucking lied! If you can believe it, Nomura was not completely reliable in the lore that he was giving us at the end of Union Cross. It's a total fucking psyop situation, okay? We've been gaslit and girl-bossed into oblivion. We were played, the feds are in my mind, convincing me with false information. And I'm not responsible for the mistake that I made in the past. What we come to learn in the secret ending of Dark Road is that actually, turns out, that little baby we saw at the end of Union Cross that was, I don't know, born by like that skulled-looking lady and given to the dude in blue, that was not actually you, the player character, reincarnated, okay? It was a goddamn red herring the whole time. But you know who you are? You are the blue-robed bitch who raised Xehanort as like into a young man on Destiny Islands or whatever. That was you in like your second life after being reborn. So you are nothing. You're nobody, okay? You're just some chud. Xehanort, however, is the true blood of Ephemera, okay? The base, pure bloodline of Scala and Calum. He's the real character, and you are nothing. And again, just to hammer it home, I want to point out how this was an intentional misdirect by Nomura. Clearly, you had to get, what was you understood at the end of Union Cross, okay? Everybody thought so. Okay, it wasn't just me. All right, all my peer-reviewed studies, okay, told me that this was the case. It's not my fault that everybody got tricked. I cannot be blamed for this. And then at the end of fucking Dark Road, he pulls this out of his asshole, and he makes me rework my entire scientific theorem of the universe. So with the updated information, okay, let's quickly review the nature of the world as we now understand it in Kingdom Hearts, okay? So, Sora is everyone, okay? This is constant. Sora's every character in the story. He's certainly connected to him as well. And he's a Hikari light man, okay? Xehanort is everyone else. We've known that for a long time, okay? And he's a man of darkness, or yummy, as we say. Now, between light and darkness, okay, these are clearly forever separate, and this is why Sora and Xehanort can never be the same character. Okay, it's so obvious when you think about it this way, all right? Light and darkness are the two fundamental axes that the world is based on in Kingdom Hearts. They cannot be the same guy. That would be insanity, okay? So, now that we have had the lore clarified, this does gel with the world as we understand it. Okay, you gotta have a balance of light and darkness. They're not the same thing, and they never will be. And over here, okay, we've got the other X factor here. You, the player character, okay, aka us, Okay, where do you fall into this? Okay, here's what Kingdom Hearts wants of you. It wants your heart, it wants your attention, and your money, okay, for microtransactions and shit. And between the two walls, between these two dimensions, okay, there is a barrier of unreality. We exist in reality, they're in unreality, and vice versa, okay? This is established lore of Kingdom Hearts. Was my brilliant theory that every character is the same questionable? No, it was obviously flawless the whole time, and nobody should have ever questioned it. Okay, but it was based on premises that Nomura lied to me about. So it's all on him, okay? I'm perfect, he's a fool, he tricked me, and he tricked you. We should all be angry, we should get our money back. Boycott. Anyway, this is why I had to make this Kingdom Hearts 102.1 final chapter addendum ReComPleted. My regret is immense, but I feel a little bit better now that I've gotten it out there. We fixed it. But let's not stop there. We've got other stuff to talk about. So let's talk about a couple other Dark Road lore addendums. So here's a hilarious fact from Dark Road. So, you, the player character, okay, as the blue-robed guy, you, like, effectively raise Xehanort on Destiny Islands. Why do you do that? It's because you reveal that in the Book of Prophecy that, like, the foretellers had, there was a mention of a chosen one. Who's the chosen one, you ask? Well, you, the player character, and you watching this video right now, you think that it's Xehanort because he's cool or something. He's like the blood of ephemera and all that fun stuff. What does it say? It says that this person will save the world of light from darkness, whose heart will connect to everyone, and they will be from Destiny Islands. And Xehanort is told by you, the player, that it's him. I will immediately point out, however, that Xehanort clearly, like, he's not even from Destiny Islands, okay? He was born Scalad Calum, I guess, right? And was, like, transported there. So doesn't that, like, immediately invalidate it? I would think so, but I don't know. But anyway, think about that now. So Xehanort, from the beginning of time, was gassed up by you, literally you, into thinking that he was, like, the Messiah who was going to save the world. Now, you think that might do something to a little boy's brain? Give him maybe something of like a Messiah complex or something? Make him want to take control of the entire fucking universe and reshape it so that he could make sure everything's good and not out of balance and all good stuff? You are goddamn responsible for fucking up Xehanort from the beginning. So you see, we could rope it still in there. You fucked up this whole story from the start. Nomura, you've done it again. Oh yeah, you think that Xehanort's gonna be like a master of light and save the world from darkness. All that nonsense. You could not be more wrong. No matter how bullshit, like that no matter how saccharine that bullshit ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 tries to be, with like Ericus and Xehanort being like, oh, we're like redeemed now, we're good now. I mean, Ericus was okay. He did try to kill Venno. Like, kind of an ends justify the means kind of thing, where it sort of would have made sense, but, you know, you shouldn't kill your students. And Xehanort killed, like, the entire universe, almost. Sort of did do it a couple of times. So, that wasn't good. But, you fucked everything up. Nice going, idiot. Okay, so that's it for Dark Road, okay? That's the end, and I'm about to dark rope, if you know what I'm saying. More like shoot a dark rope. I apologize. Strike that from the record. Okay, so let's talk about Kingdom Hearts 4. Is that on the board? Let's add it to the board. Let's just squeeze this shit right in over here. Under what were they thinking? Oh, and it should be mentioned. Okay, can I make the meme again for the billionth time? Is this simple and clean to you? No. All right, so let's talk about Kingdom Hearts 4 for a second, okay? Here's the deal with Kingdom Hearts 4. So it was announced in 2022. Wow, that's fun. It was announced alongside Kingdom Hearts Missing Link as well, but we'll get to that later. It's a new arc. It's the Lost Master arc. Sounds fun. It's real, but there's no release date, so we just have no idea when it's coming. People, like, say 2026, but, like, they're not getting that from anywhere, so no one knows. Gonna take place in Quadratum, okay, the place we talked about, and Melody of Memories and all that good stuff. And we're going to spend a lot of time in that world specifically, apparently, so that's good. I like when Kingdom Hearts have, like, a good hub world, like Traverse Town or whatever, so that could be fun. Hope it's good. In terms of the worlds that we're going to see there, well, we don't see much in the trailer other than Quadratum, but there is one that kind of looks a little suspicious, and if you look at it, it's like a woodsy kind of area, and then there's some kind of foot going on there, and could it be?
ATSTs!
Yeah, the best going theory right now is that is a Star Wars like reference, and so it's going to be on like the moons of Endor or something. I mean, Return of the Jedi, something like that. I think I'm totally fine with that. Sounds pretty cool to me. Don't know. I guess it'd be kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean type world, only with like more cool action shit because like Jedis are flipping and doing stuff and doing sheave spins and whatnot. That being said, though, it's just a theory. It's just a theory, okay, people, a game theory. So don't take it to the bank just yet. It's based on this one tiny image. It is provocative. It is, I think that it's not a bad theory, but just don't. It's not confirmed, so don't kill yourself if it doesn't happen. Sora's looking like a handsome young twink, just the way Nomura likes him. Me too, you know what I'm saying, boys? It's all modern in Quadratum. It's, like fucking TWEWY world, Quadratum, looks fun. And overall, it's been said that Kingdom Hearts 4 and Missing Link and stuff, that they're supposed to be sort of resets for the series, that we're kind of starting something new with them, because we have left behind the Xehanort, or the Dark Seeker saga with Xehanort, right? He's dead, okay? And we're moving on to the Lost Master arc. Will it be good? I don't know. I mean, the Foretellers and the Masters seemed pretty lame to me from like the mobile games, but maybe in like a real game they'll actually be good. That's entirely possible. And if they get some dope-ass boss fights, I love a themed dude. There's like that bear guy. That sounds fun to fight. The unicorn guy. I'll fight him. Whatever. Oh, and Kingdom Hearts 4, if you hadn't noticed, it has like a different font and like the logos changed a little bit. So, they're like breaking from the old ways and doing something new. So, all right. Hope it's good. Also, there's a character in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer who is clearly a reference to one of the old mobile game characters, Strelitzia. She is clearly there. Who is Strelitzia? Did I mention it before? I don't care. It's Laurium, aka Marluxia's somebody, who was in the distant past in Union Cross or whatever. One of the leaders, one of the fucking Union leaders, right? Is that what they're called? His sister, who had like disappeared and was like supposed to be one of the Union leaders, something like that. And she actually died outright. She was killed in Union Cross by Ven, actually possessed by darkness. So I hope he, comes to terms with that one day. He kind of did. Whatever. It was in the story. Not his fault. He didn't do it on purpose. It was the darkness. Okay. Yeah. Classic excuse. That's what I'm going to tell the judge myself. You know what I'm saying? My working theory was that it was Dark Chirithy, personally. The greatest character of all time. But no, it was actually Ventus. So she's in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer in Quadratum with Sora. Presumably is his sexy new thing. So what does that mean? What's happening here? She literally died. We saw her heart leave her body and all that stuff in Union Cross. Well, she just outright says that this world that Sora's in is like effectively the afterlife for like a person like Sora from, I don't know, like the Kingdom Hearts universe or something. This whole unreality barrier going on here, it's like the afterlife for them, apparently. So you know what this means. Strelitzia is dead, and she's back, baby. That means that anybody else that's dead could theoretically come back. Clayton cells? It's our fucking time! Yes! Or how about Xehanort? Okay, Xehanort just died along with Ericus. He could just be back. He'll never go away. No one will ever be gone. No one's ever really gone. So that's epic. Okay, let's tread the same water forever here, baby. Let's keep it going. Maybe Nomura will be responsible with this power. I don't know. But what this is sort of implying, though, is that this could be like the Nomuraverse, We're in like the TWEWY world. That's confirmed. That's what Quadratum is, basically. Will we get to go to like other Nomuraverse type stuff? Like it could be Square Enix, but Nomura has this thing that I think is cope, as I've said before, where he's like, I won't put characters in Kingdom Hearts that I didn't design at Square Enix because I don't understand them well enough. Such cope. He's just saying that because he doesn't want to put him in. I'm convinced. But there actually is good precedent for this. Did you know that in Kingdom Hearts 1, you know how Aeris is in that game? Well, it wasn't supposed to be Aeris at first. You know who it was gonna be? It was gonna be Aya Brea. Off of Bray? I've never played Parasite Eve, so I don't know how to pronounce that. But it was gonna be that girl. That Keistus-looking girl from Parasite Eve. She was gonna be in the Aeris role, but she got swapped out because like the FF7 team really wanted Aeris in or whatever. So that's fun. And also, Pence has like the shirt, Dog Street shirt, that's a reference to the bouncer in Kingdom Hearts 2. So like they're there, man. There's precedent for this, and do more of it, please. I want to see that. And that's it. That's all we know about Kingdom Hearts 4. Sora's fighting some big dudes. He uses the chain to fight a little bit for like a grappling kind of thing. It looked kind of cool, you know? There's just no information. Again, people have said maybe it'll come out in 2026, but they're making that up. There is no information, and like that's not an insane guess, and it's been 3 years, give or take, since the last trailer. We really should get something soon. This is like a big deal, one of the big series at Square Enix, so hope we get more info soon. All right, we're done with that. Now we're talking about the real missing link, which truly is a missing link, if you know what I'm saying, because they be not updating us on what's happening with this goddamn game. So let me just give you the breakdown, okay? It was announced at the same time as Kingdom Hearts 4, and what's the deal? So it's another goddamn mobile game. Okay, great. This one's like 3D action, so it looks a little bit more like a real Kingdom Hearts game. It's set before Dark Road, in Scala Ad Caelum, after Union Cross and the destruction of Daybreak Town. But again, it's in Scala Ad Caelum, like before Dark Road takes place, so it looks different. And I think Nomura said in an interview that it's like 4 generations after EPHEMER founded Daybreak Town, or Scala. There's been several beta tests, which I would never participate in. Beta? I don't think so. That people have played, and it's got this like GPS quality to it. It's like the Pokemon Go of Kingdom Hearts. But weirdly enough, you can play it like walking around or sitting mobile at your house. Apparently there are both modes. I wouldn't know. I'm not playing this shit. Oh, it's like got a Victorian aesthetic and 3D gameplay. I'm sure it's just as good as a real Kingdom Hearts game. That's cap, if you ask my humble opinion. Okay, but think about this GPS action thing. So here we go again with one of these Nomura-isms. So the deal with the GPS thing in the lore of Missing Link is that the characters, like the Keyblade wielders that you play as, your characters, they are crossing into, quote-unquote, the real world, okay? Like, where we live in real life, okay? And that's how they, like, interact with... That's how Nomura has integrated the, like, 3D GPS thing. So you walk around in Pokemon Go and, like, your character racks up points or something. They cross into something called, like, the astral plane, which for them is like how they travel into real life to do stuff. But once again, we're getting into this idea of crossing the boundaries of reality and unreality. So you know what, boys? Through Missing Link, it is not too late. We may be able to, maybe you and I, can enter the world of Kingdom Hearts personally over the boundary, and we will be able to become both Sora and Xehanort still, and we can be every character. It's not too late, Nomura. Let's get it done. Retroactively make me right once again. Okay, other than that, the story of the game is apparently about like the bloodlines of Scala Ad Caelum, which, you know, relates to how Xehanort is supposed to be a descendant of EPHEMER. Incidentally, it was said that that lady that looks like Skuld was clarified by Nomura. That's Xehanort's mom, apparently, is not Skuld. That's not her. But he's implying that there was a relationship between them. So she's like probably her descendant or something. So I guess that would maybe imply that like EPHEMER, you know, did the deed with Skuld and maybe they had kids, which would make sense. They were a cute pair. There's like Emblem Heartless that are starting to spread, which is bad news because, you know, Emblem Heartless canonically were only supposed to start to exist when Apprentice Xehanort started doing his shenanigans, because they're man-made. You have to like personally fuck up a dude and pull his heart out to make a Emblem Heartless. So they're showing up in Scala Ad Caelum back then. So somebody's doing some shady shit with darkness. So, whoa, you're gonna have to fight darkness. Whoa, who saw that coming? Not me. But one more topic on the subject of being a missing link. Okay, let's pause for a moment and again point out like what the premise of this game is. This is a game between Union Cross and Dark Road. Okay. What is the point of this game? It is to like be the connection, I guess, in between those 2 points in time. Here's a question. Why do we need a connection between those 2 points in time? Who cares? It's like that Futurama meme, you know? Like when the professor's arguing with that monkey dude and they're like, I found the missing link. And he's like, but you never found the missing link between the missing link and that other guy. And he's like, actually, we did find that. Like, this could go on forever. We could do this all day. It's kind of like what they did in Metal Gear, you know? You don't need to explain, like, every period of time. I think it's fine. We get the idea. EPHEMER founded Scala Ad Caelum, and guess what? It built up, and eventually Xehanort and what's-his-face were there. We covered this in Dark Road. Why do we need to elaborate on this? And maybe the idea, excuse me, maybe the idea is that, you know, as Nomura seems to do, he's just trying to come up with a way to like have a premise where you can do this whole like unreality crossing thing. And he's trying to find like a timeline, a place in time where the story can fit in and like sort of work. So if you're taking like the gameplay first, need to make a game, need to make a mobile game. I mean, obviously, what are we going to do? Not make a microtransaction riddled mobile game? Of course we're not going to do that. Dude, who pays money for this, okay? Reminder, I never paid a dime, one single dime, and I suffered greatly. My time was lost because I never paid a dime to these mobile games. But people do. How do you just answer in the comments below? Justify paying money for any mobile game ever. Okay, you can buy a single, like a one-time payment thing, but the microtransactions, justify that, or I'll turn you into a fucking Heartless or something. I guess like Japanese people are like, they like it more or something. Is it because they're all playing like pachinko or something and they're used to just throwing their money away? I don't know, but I wish that was me. Okay, so Missing Link, final points. The original release date was fall 2024. You may notice, if you look at your calendar, it is past fall 2024. Yeah, they put out a notice that said like, sorry guys, we're missing our deadline. Whoops. And it has been radio silence ever since. There are no updates. So like, is this game dead? It might not be. It might come back, but it's not looking good. I think that was like the one big delay. There were like a couple of beta tests, but the point is there was no release date in sight. Kingdom Hearts 4 and Missing Link are both like dead right now in terms of updates, so keep your eyes peeled, I guess. All right, we are now going to do some miscellaneous clarifications now that the main subjects have been covered. Okay, you're up to date, pretty much, on all like the main games and stuff. So here's a couple of miscellaneous things that you might enjoy. Okay, here's the thing. What's in the fucking box? Are you still wondering? I know people out there are wondering, like, dude, didn't I see that box? I wrote down the numbers here. It was first shown, the fucking box, in 2017 in back cover. That's 8 years ago. We saw that box 8 years ago, and it has not been opened yet. Okay, now most people saw it in Kingdom Hearts 3, which came out in 2019, so it's been like 6 years for most people. But wow, that's a long time. So I don't know. I don't know what's in the fucking box. I wish I could tell you. I just don't know. Some people like wanted a specific update on what's going on in the box. So there you go. Other than that, so I wanted to talk a quick little bit about Maleficent, because one of the big what the fuck moments I saw at the end of Unchained Key was Maleficent showing up, like the Disney Maleficent, in the past with the Keyblade Warriors. What's going on there? Okay, I'm going to break it down for you right now, because this is some riveting lore, let me tell you. Maleficent was in Kingdom Hearts 3 searching for the box, right? No one knows what's in the box. We just know it's like probably good because the Master of Masters gave it to Lucio to protect or something. So I don't know. What's going on with that? So, okay, there's an immediate retcon in, was it in Union Cross? Whatever, I think it was in Dark Road, okay, where, in this retcon, it's that Xehanort told Maleficent during the events of Birth by Sleep about the nature of heart-based time travel, which I am also a master of. So I don't know if this is particularly relevant or anything, but remember how Riku unlocked Maleficent's heart in Kingdom Hearts 1? I have like a little pet theory that might be related to this, but whatever, whether it was there or not, Maleficent knew how to time travel as just a heart, okay? So knowing that, when she died in Kingdom Hearts 1 and was set free and her heart was adrift, okay, she just like used that opportunity to time travel back to the past. But I don't know about you, but my main question, we know time travel is a thing, but how did she do that? How did she like have a body in the past? Well, okay, if you're up to date on the fact that the lore of Union Cross is that you are in a data landscape, okay, in Unchained Key, the Book of Prophecies can see the future and makes projections of the future worlds, and you travel to them and gather Lux Light to fight off darkness. And like, that's how you can travel to those future worlds that don't exist yet in the past. Future sight, basically. And the Book of Prophecies makes them real. In Union Cross, you're in a data version of that thing, basically. It's not the Book of Prophecies anymore. It's a data, digital version instead that the Master of Masters made. Okay. So in that datascape, in the data world, Maleficent, her heart travels from the future back to the past and inhabits a data version of herself in that distant past that's projected from a copy of a foresight future reading book of prophecy turned into data crunching, munching, data funching, whatever, and she possesses her own body. That's what happens, okay? A digital version of herself gives her a body in the past. That's how she gets there. And like learns everything about everything. But in the end of Union Cross, I believe it was, she goes back to the future. How does she do that, okay? Here's how she does it. So one of the darknesses, those like 13 magic super darknesses, they tell Maleficent to use a lifeboat to go to the future. And she's like, okay, will do. You know, one of those things that the Master of Masters made. But the thing about Maleficent is that she's dead in the future, so like, how does that work? But this is where the darkness drops some sick lore on us, and it's like, okay, I know that's a problem, but I got you covered, Maleficent. Here's all you need. The thing is, to survive in the future, to come back to life, you actually don't even need your body to be there, okay? You need like just some components of that. You just need to have a medium of yourself, okay? And also have people remember you, have memories of you. If you have those two things, your heart can come back and you can restore yourself back to life. And that's how Maleficent did that in Kingdom Hearts 2, all the way back in Kingdom Hearts 2, when that game came out. And admittedly, that was always unclear and mysterious what was going on there. Do I think Nomura planned it all? I mean, what the fuck do you think? No. But he's sticking and moving. He's trying to find ways to get these characters come back. Kind of funny, at least. So her medium was like her cape or whatever, which was at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, and the crow is carrying, and the memories are, like the fairies remember her. They're like, no, don't remember her, but they do, and she comes back to life. So that's what happens. Oh, and a note about those lifeboats. So the lifeboats are like plot critical shit in Union Cross, which are what the dudes use both to leave the data world that they're in and go to the real world of Daybreak Town, that they like escape the calamity, the end of the universe from. And then also they use them from there, they use the same lifeboats or whatever, to travel from there to the future and like avoid the end of the world killing everyone. So that's how they do it. And that's how various characters end up in different places. Right. Now those lifeboats, if you recall, were present. They were visible in Kingdom Hearts 1. There was one room that's like nothing... Oh, fuck, am I talking to the wrong side of the mic? There's like one room, okay, where the mics are visible, where the lifeboats are visible, and they like don't do anything, but they're there. And they're noteworthy, and it was always a very cool room, like at the end of the world. Pretty sure. Or was it Hollow Bastion? Oh, whatever, I think it was the end of the world. And it was also the thing that Xehanort, Apprentice Xehanort, used for Kairi in Melody of Memories, so also relevant there. Okay. But here's the crazy part about all this, okay? Now, this wouldn't be necessary, but, Nomura loves to give his explanations for shit, so, okay, here it is. So this whole new concept that's just been dropped on us out of nowhere, where if you've got your heart, okay, and it's trying to go somewhere, travel to the future, whatever it is, if in the future you have a medium of yourself and memories of you, then you can come back to life. You can basically like travel to the future. That's what we're getting from this. Because if you use like one of the incomplete lifeboats, which is what Maleficent had, the other guys like EPHEMER and those guys, they used like complete ones that worked all the way. Okay. Why doesn't everyone just have one that works all the way? It doesn't matter. But the point is, somebody like the Master of Masters, okay, what's his deal? He comments on this. He's like, well, the eye of his that he put in the no-name Keyblade, his whole deal, the reason he can see the future is he put his eye into a Keyblade and sent it to the future, and he can like look out from the Keyblade and see shit that's happening. That's like the basis of the whole prophecy stuff. Yeah, using that as a medium of himself, and Luxu, who canonically still existed all the time to the future, who is currently inhabiting Xigbar or Braig, whoever he is right now. I think he's Braig, right? No, he turned himself into Xigbar again, right? Who cares? It doesn't matter. The point is he's got memories. He's Luxu with memories of the Master of Masters. He can do this shit too. He can come back that way. So, like, you definitely didn't need this explanation in particular, but this is yet another avenue that the Master of Masters can show up in the modern day, and he, like, basically specifically implies he's gonna do that. So, there you go. Oh, another note about those lifeboats. It was Apprentice Xehanort using a lifeboat to send Kairi to a Keyblade wielder in Melody of Memories. So if you ever wanted an answer on how Kairi got to Destiny Islands, it's in Melody of Memories for a split fucking second. Okay, it is there, and it's that Apprentice Xehanort did it because he knew she'd like need to be with a Keyblade wielder or something. I don't know, he just did it. And he used a lifeboat to do it, and That's cool, I guess. Oh, and of course, she conveniently got amnesia, so forgot all about it. Classic Nomura writing. So, final point about this section, last bit of lore. There's a guy, okay, who seems to be the true puppeteer. Now, at first it seemed, in Kingdom Hearts 1, like it was this guy Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, who was doing everything. And then we learn a little more, and it's like, no, it was Apprentice Xehanort. And then we learn a little more, and it's like, oh, it's Old Man Xehanort, the Dark Master of everything. And then eventually, like, after Kingdom Hearts 3 and shit, we learn that it was actually this guy, the Master of Masters, who's truly the dude behind, like, literally every event of the story. He could see the future the whole time. He puppeted everybody. He's got plans that nobody even understands. He's trying to save the world, but he's got to destroy it in order to do that. I don't fucking know. He like caused the Keyblade Wars in order to like protect the world, sort of, so he's not clear if he's a good guy or bad guy. The point is he's the smartest man. He's the cleverest man. I think he's just the best character by far. And, I've done a lot of thinking about who he could be. A man with this level of intelligence, okay? A man with this level of drive, of passion, of know-how, of lore wisdom. I just think that if you really think about it, there's only one person he could actually be.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Okay, people, we're getting down to the end of our little addendum here, our little ReComPleted session here, and I just want to quickly go over one more time the state of Kingdom Hearts right now, okay? Because there was this interview that Nomura did toward the tail end of 2024, which I read a bunch of and had some stuff about Kingdom Hearts. So I wanted to talk quickly about what he says about the series. So this is where he clarifies that Kingdom Hearts 4 and Missing Link are a reset button for the series. They're, starting things over. They're starting on a new avenue of adventure, Lost Master Arc, all that good stuff. He says that he actually hired new writers as well. So, like, he's really cleaning house and starting over from scratch. He wants to take things in, like, a new direction for the series. So he seems pretty committed to making some changes, which I am fine with, because things were not going good for many years there in terms of the, like, main core lore of the story. This whole, like, save everybody from hurt shit, it's for the birds, man. It was lame, it was cringe. Maybe if it was done better at the end of, like, Kingdom Hearts 3 could have been better. But no, the whole idea that, like, Kingdom Hearts 2, nah, it didn't actually happen like that. Everyone was saved, everyone has a pizza party, that kind of shit, don't do that. Just do something good instead, So that's what I want to see. Nomura also did confirm that he can't even keep track of his own goddamn lore. Get this man in here. Okay, take a look at this guy right here. He says that he watches YouTube videos and his staff help him keep track of the lore. I think what this is implying is that Nomura specifically gets ideas from my videos, and he should just officially bring me on board, put me on charge of the running the ship. Okay, we'll get this shit locked up, no problem. Put in some super bosses, put in some fucking form changes, put in some reaction commands, huh? Remember those? He says the story will be completed sometime soon, or as I like to put it,
you're gonna be recompleted.
Okay, but in seriousness, people are reading a little bit too much into this idea that, like, the story's coming to an end sometime soon. I read that. I took a look at it. I think he was more talking about how, like, look, I got to think of the ending of the story at some point. It's going to come, like, one of these days. So I'm going to retire fairly soon, he said. So I should, like, plan something for that. I should have a plan either if I want it to continue after I'm gone, or I want to actually wrap it up while I'm still there. That's good. You should think about that. Stories should have an ending at some point. That's a healthy thing. That being said, though, he didn't give any kind of timeline. Like, these words could mean anything in terms of how long it's going to take. So don't get too excited. Could be a million frickin' years this guy's still working on Kingdom Hearts, and it'll go on forever. So we'll see. I'll play the good ones. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. So in conclusion, may your heart be your guiding key. It's time to wrap up now, but I have one lingering question. I have a question for everybody out there watching this. Do you still care like you used to? Have you felt the energy leave the room about this series and the lore? Because on a large scale, I certainly have felt that. This is a big thing I've been kind of preaching about the last couple of years, about how franchises are just getting beaten into the ground endlessly, and like there's the whole remake thing. That's not a Kingdom Hearts problem specifically yet, but just milking a series with like all these little piddling side games. Like, is this best practice either? These mobile games, man, does anybody play these things? No one plays them. Even I, a professional Kingdom Hearts dick sucker, gave up on Union Cross after a few years, okay? Or Unchained Key, whichever one it was. So what is the game plan right now? Foretellers? Literal mystery box? A guy that did everything in the entire story who is sort of like the master of masterful things happening everywhere? Like Aizen from Bleach was? Is this another thing stolen from Bleach? Maybe, I don't know. I haven't checked the timeline on that. Don't crucify me. Now, that being said, there's still definitely good things in Kingdom Hearts, okay? Kingdom Hearts 3, that gameplay, surprisingly good. The story, I mean, total shit, okay? But, you know, I can't deny that I still have a fondness for Sora and the gang, you know, mostly Sora. But Kairi and Rico, I want them to do well. And, you know, you always like seeing Goofy and Nile, so I've still got affection for it. So, is this the emotional ending of the video now? Is this us wrapping it up? No, I don't do that stuff. You know what? I would never do that. You know what? Actually, I will. People love that shit. Play always on my mind. Kingdom Hearts is cool, man. You know, I want to see Sora hanging out, having a good time with his friends, being his hilariously upbeat self in an edgy, silly, you know, organization-y type of world. Disney World, sure, let's see some new ones. Go to fucking Moana, go to fucking Princess and the Frog, huh? Imagine fighting against those shadow dudes with Dr. Lucifer, whatever his name is. Let's bust out some Nomuraverse shit. That sounds cool, man. I'd be there for that. Brave Fencer Musashi, fucking The Bouncer, I don't know. Let's keep it on like the good real games, you know? Does it have to take like 13 years for a new game to come out in the actual series that like people I know might actually play? Not this like bullshit nonsense that no one I know is gonna play. Certainly not me. I'd say they're a bad business model, but they must not be, or they wouldn't keep doing them over and over and over again. So I'm gonna check in on my boy Sora every once in a while, and I'll keep my ears perked for some funny lore here and there, some interesting goings-ons, whether it's a melody of memory or a missing link shattering the boundary between reality and fiction. That's something you don't see every day. But like this endless nonsense with these side games, I mean, it was cute with Chain of Memories, okay, as like a little side nonsense game. But now the series is like mostly those games, so like by far. There's like 3 main games. It was like Birth by Sleep, I don't know. That's too many. Reel it back in. I think there's only one phrase to end our think piece on.
What were they thinking?
So now that my work here is done, it's time for me to use the power of retcons to return back to the past whence I came. Back when I still had friends, so I can save myself from the humiliation of any of this happening whatsoever. Thank you, retcon powers. I learned from the best. Yep, we've healed my hurt, and this timeline has been fixed, so this version of me can just, you know, die or cease to exist or whatever. It just sounds awesome. But what's next for me and our boy Sora? Guess we'll find out. All right, everybody. With that being said, let's wrap it up right there. What do we say? When you walk away, you don't hear me say, please, oh baby, don't go. Simple and clean is the way that you're making me feel tonight. It's hard to let it go. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in a couple years for Kingdom Hearts 103. Bye-bye. Say goodbye, everybody. Thank you. All right, now we're done.
For Kingdom Hearts 4.
Kingdom Hearts
Squares have 4 sides. Quadratum has 4 sides.
Yeah,
sure does.
Fucking bet.
I feel like it's going to be in Quadratum.
It'll come out 7 years.
Yeah, it should. That would make sense. Was that a bearable experience for all of you guys?
Bear.
Square.
I had a great time.
That's wonderful to hear. Hey, can we take a picture together?
What were they thinking with this shitload of fuck?